I recently released 4 brand new videos looking at the new update of the RealismCraft 2.0 dynamic world. In those 4 videos, it's broken down to look at the new mobs, items, weapons, armors and blocks, the new structures and mini-boss, the new travel options, and the new end overhaul. But now I've put them all together as one big supercut for those of you who want to see it all in one massive video. So I hope you guys enjoy. Please do leave a like, drop a comment, let me know if you're excited for RealismCraft 2.0, and if you're watching this later after release, are you enjoying RealismCraft 2.0? And if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. Let's get into the massive supercut. For anyone who isn't aware, RealismCraft is a complete reimagining of what Minecraft looks like, and has made massive changes to textures, animations, world generation, sound, and the overall atmosphere of the game. There have been many updates to the game with overhauls of new biomes, a new nether, and new beautiful visual effects. This now with Realism 2.0 is the largest update ever, and it's designed to seamlessly blend stunning visual enhancements with rich, expanded gameplay to completely reimagine how you experience Minecraft as a whole. With RealismCraft 2.0, when you start a brand new world, Spark Universe hope that you are going to experience a visually stunning version of Minecraft that has been built to immerse you fully in the world and fuel your lust for adventure. Change is truly on the cards, with every biome being overhauled, every mob behaving or moving more realistically, and the world being full of new structures, items, and mobs to discover. Every new addition that has been added to RealismCraft 2.0 has been carefully designed to be integrated into Minecraft's progression, and to be a meaningful addition to the gameplay. This altogether results in a version of Minecraft that is hopefully more expansive, alive, and visually stunning, while also staying faithful to the Minecraft game's core charm. So I've spawned into a brand new creative world, and before we begin this video, I just want to say a massive thank you to Spark Universe for giving me early access to the RealismCraft 2.0 update. This is not a sponsored video, and I want to stress that, but I am a massive fan of RealismCraft in general, and to be given the opportunity to get early access is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much to Spark Universe. I just want to let you know that I'm not going to be showing any of the end specific blocks in this video, really, maybe a couple, but not specifically showcasing them. I'm going to wait for the end overhaul video, which will release at the same time as this video. So if you want to see the end blocks, go and check out that video, link down in the description. But I will be showing off the ore, the Viridium from the end in this video. So stay tuned and check that out. Now, with the new update of RealismCraft comes about 1,000, maybe even more new blocks, and you guys know me, I enjoy punishing myself, so I've tried to place down as many of them as possible, and hopefully I've got all of them. If I haven't got all of them, well, I've got most of them. And what has happened here, we'll start with a few of the singular blocks, and we'll start from this side here first. So we get given, where should we start from? Let's start from here first of all. We get given a new waxed copper pillar, and we've got unwaxed variants as well. We've got the exposed copper pillar, we've got the weathered copper pillar, and we've got the oxidized copper pillar here. I've obviously just used waxed because I don't want them to change. We've also then got iron pillars, we've got cut iron, and we've got chiseled iron, and then we've also got gold pillars, cut gold, and chiseled gold, and then lastly we've got netherite pillars, cut netherite, and chiseled netherite as well. Now, while that doesn't seem like a lot to begin with, let me tell you, this definitely picks up from here, because there are a ton, and I mean a metric ton, of brand new block families and additions to block families. So we're going to go through and just see. Now, a lot of this is the same blocks with different textures, so I don't want to get your hopes up too much for 1,000 completely unique blocks, but with all of the textures, the variations, there is a massive range of blocks here. So we'll start on this side. In fact, let's get rid of all of this and clear up our inventory a little bit. We'll start here, and we've got introduced limestone slabs. In this case, polished limestone slabs, limestone brick slabs, and limestone tile slabs to go with this extension of a limestone family. We've got bricks, we've got pillar blocks, we've got tiles, limestone in general is polished, and we've got chiseled limestone. And then what everybody is practically excited about, to be honest with you, is the vertical slabs. But they haven't just added vertical slabs, there's also steps. So we've got these here, which are polished limestone vertical slabs. We've got one for the bricks, we've got one for the tiles, and we've got one for limestone in general. And then we've got the smaller block, which is the step block. And we've also got that in tiles, we've got that in bricks, and we've got that as a polished variant too. And it should be said that usually where there is one vertical slab, there is also a corresponding step for that as well. And you'll see that as we go through. Now, a few functionality things of this, as you can see, I've placed them down. So you can place it like so, you can place it like so as well, and you'll get a change. Or you can place it here on the outside too, and then place one here and you get the little corner piece as well, which I thought was really, really cool. We can see what happens if you do a little ring. Not much, but then if we place into here, so similar to how steps change, we've got it here for a singular step as well, and you get a nice little pattern that goes on here too. I thought that was quite cool and allows some changes and some additions to your build. And then also the same thing happens here for the vertical slab. So if you place that there, you can then get that little corner piece too. And we can have a little toy around here as well. So if we place that down and then we try to place one here, it immediately goes half. So you're not going to be able to place it right here unless maybe crouch and place. No, it just automatically goes through. So you can't go side and side like that. That's not going to happen. Now, if I want to place it on this side, so from here, it places on the far side. If we go over here and we place it down, there we go. It will always place on the far side from where you are as well. And you can't double up. So it won't place it down like you would do with a half slab and make a full block. It just defaults to the double side, unless maybe if I go from this side and I place here, no. So it won't let me place that there. You can't place it into there to make a full block. So if you want a full block, you have to use a full block. We'll go half and half and we get that little corner piece. If I place this here, it then gives you that side piece there. If I break that, it defaults and updates. So hopefully that's a bit of an insight into how you would use the vertical slabs and the steps. And then lastly, for limestone, we've also got the limestone slab and the limestone block on its own as well. So a nice introduction there for what kind of new variations we get and a new family. And then we've also got over here, which is called the clay bricks. Now the clay bricks also have a few variations. So there's two different vertical slab types. We've got the polished clay bricks vertical slab and we've got the clay brick vertical slab. Same again for the step and here as well for the polished one. And then in terms of the blocks, we've got chiseled clay bricks, polished clay bricks, and clay pillars. And what you'll see here as well, you see how many different solid blocks there are for limestone, but there's only a few solid blocks here for clay bricks. Not every family gets every block. So there is some choices that will have to be made going forward. But I mean, it's cool. I quite respect the fact that it's not copy and paste everything and it's just one and done. They've taken the time to choose that some families deserve certain blocks and some don't. We've then also got polished clay brick slabs and clay brick slabs. We've got a clay bricks block. We've got clay brick stairs, which I'm always interested to try and find out how does this work. It actually works as a stair, which is cool. Now, I don't know if that's because it's a dynamic world, but we do know that stairs have a few issues in add-ons, for instance, that we're not going to see here. So that's very cool. And then we've got the clay brick walls, which can be placed down here like a normal wall. On top of that then, as I tried to catch my breath because talking is terrible for me, we've then got the dark sandstone bricks. So a new thing that has been added to RealismCraft is the dark sand in general. We get dark sand and we also get smooth dark sandstone. We get dark sandstone pillars, chiseled dark sandstone, cut dark sandstone in general, and dark sandstone bricks. I know I said a few of those words wrong. We also get dark sandstone brick slabs, smooth ones as well, dark ones in general, and cut dark ones. And then we've got the wall and step variations here too. So we've got cut, we've got sandstone in general, we've got smooth, and we've got brick versions of both. And these, like I said, have the same interactions. That works consistently. I'm not going to show you that for everything. The red sand or red sandstone also has an expansion here. So we've got red sandstone pillars along with the 4 different wall. I keep saying walls, I mean vertical slabs. The 4 different vertical slabs and 4 different steps. And then sandstone as well has its extension. So we get sandstone pillars and the 4 different wall types here too. Consistent with the RealismCraft textures as well. One thing that I'm not 100% sure of, and maybe I'll check it out if I remember at the end of the video, is if we change the texture pack, will these take on the new textures of the texture pack? I don't believe they would, because the texture pack wouldn't know to take it. But if I can work it out, I'll try and put it at the end of the video. If not, ask me. We may do some follow-ups. Who knows? On top of that then, we've then got what's called the packed ice family, getting an extension, I guess. So we'll start with the blocks. We get packed ice bricks, packed ice pillar, polished packed ice, and chiseled packed ice. We then also get the packed ice bricks and polished packed ice slabs. So if you want to have an icy build, a little ice castle, you get a bit more variation there, along with the vertical slabs and the vertical steps. And then over here for this block, we actually get polished snow. So snow also getting an extension here. We've got polished snow, we've got snow bricks, we've got snow bricks in general for the blocks, we've got snow pillars, polished snow again there for the block, and a chiseled snow along with the 2 vertical slabs and vertical slab steps as well. So don't build this in a desert. I mean, I know I'm currently over a desert, but that will make it melt. Although it won't really, because it's packed ice. But you know what I'm saying. Don't build this in a hot biome. It'll look weird. But next up, we've then got, I don't want to miss anything on this side, we've got a few nether bricks that are added. So we've got nether brick pillars along with a vertical slab and vertical step variant. And then the same for chiseled red nether bricks and red nether brick vertical slabs and steps. And then we've got mixed nether bricks, so a combination of the 2, which I really like. I think this is cool, which also has a slab, a full block, a vertical slab, and a step slab as well. And just to put that 1000 number into context, after just that little bit that we've done so far, that's over 100 blocks added to RealismCraft 2.0. My last count was like 111 or 112. I may have miscounted or not counted one, but yeah, a lot of blocks already, and we haven't even got going yet. So let's carry on. Next up then, we've then got the end slabs, end stone family actually. So this is a polished end stone slab to mix in with end stone tiles. We get end stone bricks, a pillar, tiles. We get a polished end stone, chiseled end stone, and chiseled egg end stone as well. So if you want a little change up on the design, there we go. And they come with 3 vertical slabs and vertical steps as well. Then we've got over here, which we didn't look at, we've got dripstone family gets an extension as well. So much choice here really. We've got polished dripstone slabs, dripstone tile slabs, and dripstone brick slabs. Then we've got dripstone bricks, dripstone pillar, dripstone tiles, and chiseled dripstone, along with 3 vertical slabs and vertical steps as well. So it seems to be some families get 2, some families get 4, some families get 1, and some families get 3. So no set number here really. Next up after that, we've then got over here, deep slate gets an extension with a deep slate pillar. No slabs here, but I suppose they're already represented maybe. And then we've got 4 vertical slab and vertical steps here too. And then over here, we've got quartz getting an extension as well with 1 quartz tile slab. We get a chiseled quartz block. We get a quartz tiles block. And then we get 3 vertical slabs and vertical steps. Crazy, man. How did I even think of all of this? Different families being extended. I don't know, like, it's so much selection in a survival world. I would be spoilt for choice. And I can already say that my brain already feels like, what would I build? What would I build? What would I build? I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. So if we come over here, next up, we get the tough family gets an extension. So we get tough brick slabs, tough tile slabs. We get tough bricks, chiseled tough bricks, tough pillars, and tough tiles, along with 4 vertical slabs and steps. Over here, prismarine gets a bit of fun here too. So polished prismarine slab, along with prismarine tiles, prismarine pillar, prismarine tiles, polished prismarine, chiseled prismarine, 3 prismarine vertical slabs and steps, and then prismarine also, hang on, what's going on here? Prismarine brick, sorry. These are all prismarine brick. Well, hang on. No, there's a bit of a weird one going on here, in fact, because some of them are prismarine bricks, some of them are prismarine, and then we've got the changing color type here. That's what threw me. They were a changing color type. I thought they were a different color, but no, these are just prismarine. So it's 4 vertical slabs and 4 vertical steps, with one of them, this one, the prismarine vertical slab and vertical step, having that color change going. That was me getting very, very confused in the middle of a clip. That was cool. Okay, next up, over here, there's a lot going on here. Where does this even start? I laid all of these out and I'm confused. Diorite. So diorite gets a massive glow up here. So let's just see what's going on. Is this diorite as well? No, this is calcite. Again, even more confused. That's 2 families in a row now that I've been confused for. So calcite and diorite. Why did I put them so close together? Let's have a look. So diorite gets diorite bricks, diorite tiles. They're in the slabs. And then we get diorite bricks, diorite pillar, diorite tiles, and chiseled diorite with 4 vertical slabs and steps. And then the cousin to diorite, calcite, gets an extension with calcite slabs, polished calcite slabs, calcite brick slabs, and calcite tile slabs, leading into the calcite bricks, pillar, tiles, polished calcite, and chiseled calcite blocks. And then again with the 4 verticals here as well. Super cool. Next up then, as we're slowly coming to the end of the new family extensions, we've got andesite getting a bit of a glow up with pretty much the same one. So we've got andesite bricks and andesite tile slabs. Then we've got andesite bricks, pillar, tiles, and chiseled blocks with the 4 vertical slabs and steps. And then granite or granite. How do you pronounce it? Because me and my mate, we were having a discussion about this the other day. Is it granite or is it granite? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments somehow. But we get granite tiles and granite brick slabs. We get granite brick blocks along with pillar, tiles, and chiseled blocks as well. And then the vertical slabs and steps too. Now, one thing I want to check here real quick is if I grab this one, in fact, what happens if I try to mix it? No. Okay, so the corner piece does not mix if it's not the same piece. That's interesting to know. That just popped into my head then to try and find that one out. What if I go here? No. So you get that corner piece only if it's part of the same family. I don't know if I like that. I think I actually would have preferred it if they did react to each other, because some people like to connect and mission mash them up, and so I would have liked it if they did, but I don't know if that's even possible. But RealismCraft seems to be all about pushing the realms of what's possible, in all honesty. And of course, we have to extend stone and cobblestone, so they do also get the vertical slabs and steps here, along with a stone pillar and stone tiles. So we get the standard stone vertical slab and step, we get a smooth stone vertical slab and step, cobblestone, mossy cobblestone, stone tiles, and stone brick as well. So really every single element seems to be covered here. And then over here as well, we also get polished dirt slabs, dirt brick slabs. We get dirt bricks, dirt pillars, polished dirt, and chiseled dirt, along with polished dirt vertical slabs and dirt bricks vertical slabs. This probably needs to go in. What have I done here? I've messed something up here. Get rid of that, thank you, and then place that down there, because I'm all about my OCD, if you don't mind. And then also we get a dirt path on here too, which may not be a new block, but I just placed it down anyway, just in case. You never know. We'll see how that goes. And so in terms of families getting that extension and just addition of vertical slabs and steps, there are two other ones that deserve to be called out here. And they are, if I grab this, they're going to be called the clinker family to begin with. So we've got the clinker brick, which is here, and that can give you the polished clinker bricks slab and the clinker brick slabs, along with clinker bricks block with pillar, polished and chiseled. And then you've got the polished clinker bricks vertical slab, try saying that 5 times, along with clinker bricks vertical slab and corresponding steps here as well. And then secondly, we get a new, I want to say ore, with salt. Now here we've got salt in general, which can also become salt crystals, and we get salt ore in the game, and we can then make polished salt slabs, salt brick slabs, and cut salt slabs, along with salt bricks, salt pillar, polished salt, cut salt, and chiseled salt. And then we've got the walls, the vertical slabs and steps here too. Am I ever going to stop calling them walls? I don't think so. I think they're always going to be walls for me. And so once we're finished looking at all of the new block families and extended block families that we get, there is a new block type added, I guess is the best way to put this, and it's the decorative tile. Now the decorative tile comes in practically every color in the game. So you've got pink, magenta, you've got purple, you've got blue, you've got light blue, which has elements of white on there as well. You've got cyan, which is quite sleek and cool. You've got lime, we've got yellow, orange, red. We've also got brown, black, grey, light grey, and white. In fact, do we not have green? Is that seriously something? Have I missed that? Can I really claim that we have 1,000 blocks if I have not placed down the green? There is a green decorative tile that I did not place down. Why would I do this? Am I supposed to be professional? I don't even know. How can we not do this? Let me just fix this. You guys get to see this in real time. This is not an error. We're going to place this one here. We're going to place this one here. We're going to then place this one here and this one here. And then lastly, we're going to go and find the one other block that I missed. That one there and that one there. Boom. Don't tell anyone I made that error, okay? So they're the decorative tiles in every color that is in Minecraft. And they also have a corresponding vertical slab, half slab, and step. I know you're in complete shock because you didn't see me just place that down, right? So that's super cool to see these items, these blocks added in as well. I really like the designs. They feel a little bit prismarine in design. They are quite glaring. They're definitely going to stand out. I don't know if you're going to be able to build in these in a nice way, but you can probably use them to like accentuate certain things and builds. So I think that's cool. I do like this design though. For some reason, this one stands out to me as being really cool. So those are here. And then we've got roof pieces, and these come in 3 different sections. So we get pink roof tile slabs. So we get roof tile slabs, we get roof tile slants, and we get roof tile blocks. And as you can see here, they do pretty much combine. If we grab one of each, we'll put this one here, and this one here. If that's how you want to build your roof, you're more than welcome to. They are there and they connect well together. And these again are also in every color in the game. You can see I actually put green there correctly, so that definitely isn't an error here. But they're on there, cool. And it's like I said before, it's just a massive amount of selection and choice. Every corner seems to be covered. So for a little section, we can step away from some of the fuller blocks and we can have a look at a few of the fences and kind of gating style blocks that are added in. So let's start over here then. We've got the copper fence. And now again, these I'm going to show you the waxed versions. There are unwaxed versions, but I didn't want them to age. So we've got, like I said, the copper fence, the exposed copper fence, the weathered copper fence, the oxidized copper fence, and then for some reason I decided to put 2, not sure why, fair dues. We've then got a golden fence, an iron fence, and a netherite fence. So they're quite nice. They are a little bit on the thin side for me. I prefer the more 3D style elements than these. I think these feel a little bit weird in the rest of the pack, if I'm being honest. And then we've also got what's called that stone. We've got picket fences available in pretty much every wood type here, and as you can see, they do not connect to each other. So even though they are of the same type of block, they are a different family, so they don't connect onto each other, which is a shame. Again, I would have preferred it if they did, but I don't know what the limitations are. And they're in every wood type. And then behind those, you'll see we've got what's called a palisade or palisade. I'm not posh. I don't know. We just got brick walls where I live. But I'm going to call it a palisade. So sorry if that's wrong. But we've got palisades here, which you can see will connect onto each other and make a design. And again, these are also available in all of the wood types that are in RealismCraft here. And then if we come on over here, we've then got balustrades or balustrades. I think these are called balustrades, but no idea again. This one is a stone balustrade, and as we place them down, you've got that kind of mix, mash, mixing different style of design, which is quite cool. But here again, they do not connect to each other. So we've got stone, we've got granite, we've got diorite, andesite, sandstone, red sandstone, dark sandstone, dripstone, quartz, limestone, prismarine. This one is blackstone, deep slate, tuff. This one is calcite. This one is never balustrade. So the vanilla families and a few of the newer families that were added, each getting a balustrade here. And then lastly for this section, we've got railings in the wood types as well. So we've got oak railings, which are these two thicker, squarer, rectangular style, again very flat. We've then got spruce, which has the free type railing. We've got birch, which goes back to 2 but a different style. We've got jungle, we've got acacia, we've got dark oak, we've got mangrove, cherry, pale oak, bamboo, crimson, and then warped. And now this is a question I want to ask you guys. So normally when I do the glass display on texture packs, when they have a different design for every block, I don't like it, because I'm always like, well, what if I like this design but in this color? I'm getting the same impression here. And so it's kind of like, what if I liked this design but I wanted to use it in dark oak, or vice versa even? So I wanted to ask you guys, what do you prefer? Do you prefer it when there's one style of design across multiple families, or do you prefer each family having its own design? I don't think there's a wrong answer here, but I'd be interested to see what you guys are all thinking. So let me know down in the comments. I'm going to steal a piece of content from the item section of this video, because I'm going to introduce a new type of something for this dynamic world, and it's called Viridium. So we have Viridium included here, and this is a craftable material. We also get Viridium shards, and as a combination of this, we then have end slate Viridium ore and end rock Viridium ore. So for the geniuses out there, this is an end based ore type and ore material, and from that we can also make then a block of Viridium shards and a block of Viridium, and we also have a Viridium crate, but we're going to get to those shortly. Now, for a little bit more information on Viridium and how it spawns in the end, make sure you check out the end dimension video that I would have posted at the same time as this video, and I'll link to it down in the description. But we're going to carry on with the blocks that are added in this world, and the next one that we get are the crate blocks. Now here, these are available in every single wood type as well as in Viridium that we've seen already, and when you place this down, they have a nice little feature. So it pops up to say that this one is empty because we're placing it down. I'm going to just go and grab something. I don't know, let's grab 64 cherry planks. Let's put the world into survival here as well, because when we're interacting it's a bit easier. And if I try to place something here, I place all of my stack into the crate and a lid comes on it. And if I want to get something out of this crate, I interact once and I get 1 back. Now, is there a way to get all of them back? Yes. If you crouch down, we'll do that again. I'll place them all in. If I crouch down and then interact on the crate, I get all 64 back. But if I just interact on it here, I put all 64 in, and if I interact standing up, I get 1 back. Now, I have to have nothing in my offhand, or nothing in my hand, sorry, when I'm interacting to do that. But what happens if I crouch and try to place something in? Nothing. You can't place them in one at a time. It takes your whole stack here, and a little lid goes on top, which I think is super cool as well. So that's available there. And in fact, can we then check? Let's grab, I don't know, let's grab something completely irrelevant. Let's grab spruce trapdoors. Can I place the trapdoors in here as well? No, the crate already contains a different item type. So what if then, can I place more cherry planks in here? Let's go into survival again to do this correctly. Yes, you can get over 64 added to the crate. You can't see the inventory, so you can't see what's in there. I wonder if there's a limit then on how many you can put in. Let's go and grab, let's do that, hit that. Let's go, I'm getting a bit confused by my buttons. There we go, we're going to grab quite a few of these. Go back into survival. 192, 256, 320, 384, 448. This seems to never stop. What about if we grab a few more? Let's go. Da 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 da. There we go. We'll grab that. Loads of those. Grab loads of those. And then grab loads of those and those. So now what happens? Is it like a never-ending pile of storage? Is it basically a TARDIS? It's adding up quite well. Keeps going, goes into the thousands, 1024, and then 1026. Now, I don't know what the limit is there, but I'm not going to sit here and try and find it because this is already a long video. But yeah, the crate is like a holder for one type of item, seamlessly a massive crate as well. And you can get them in all of the different wood types here. So another block added to RealismCraft 2.0 that has some functionality as well is the fishing net. And we're going to actually delve away from our little floating platform right now. We're going to see this in action. So when we place this down, it can be placed down like here anywhere as you like. You can't place it directly on the water, but if there's a block underneath, it will place similar to how this has here as well. And it's got functionality to it. So you can't lift it. It's not a trapdoor or anything like that. But if you wanted to, you could place it down on the side. Now, imagine that was a little bit nearer and you wanted to block off a little bit of a river or something. You could just place them side by side like so, build them out, and just wait and see what happens while you are fishing. It's an easier way to fish passively, potentially. I want to get rid of this just in case this is doing something to my demonstration. And here, and then all you have to do is just wait and wait and wait, and slowly the fish should start to arrive on your fishing nets. I'm talking slower because I wanted that to be a super cool clip where I talk about it while it does it, but it doesn't seem to want to at the moment. And there we go, you see, so that took about 20 seconds for that to happen, but fish gets caught in the net and it appears here. You interact with it and then you get your fish, and we just caught a raw cod. So that's quite cool. And then another one's done it there as well. So it is quite an effective way to fish if you want to. I like it. And continuing again with even more utility blocks, we've got what's called a scrapper block. And now this block is quite cool. I like it. So you can actually recycle your items into XP. Now, if you have a load, you can interact with it. You get a nice little animation on the top. And this little charge button here will build up. And the amount of XP that you get per item is dependent on the rarity. So the more rarer the item, the more XP you get. But as you can see, it does build up. And also, because it's dependent on the rarity, it does mean that this is actually compatible with other add-ons as well. So if they've done their rarity correctly, it will scale with it, which I think is quite cool. Always good to have options. But once you hit the top here, it will spit out a ton of XP for you. And if I wasn't in creative, it would have shown us how much XP that gave. But a nice use for a ton of blocks that you may not want to use anymore, basically. I do want to check, is it hopperable? Which I always think is quite a nice thing to check. So if we go here, I know I'm in creative, but we'll see anyway. We'll place this down on the top. What happens if I do this? No, so it's not hopperable, so you can't automatically get it, which does kind of make sense. Okay, something happened there. Oh, you can just stand on top and drop it. You don't even need to worry about interacting it. So you can interact with your L2 or whatever button you push on PC, or stand on top or just above and throw them down and it'll eat them and mulch them. That's cool. I like that. Okay. I want to see that explosion of stuff again. There we go. And there's the XP that just pops out. Very, very cool. Next up then, we have a block called the redstone fan. Now this, as you can tell, is powerable by redstone and will generate a wave of air. So if I turn this on using a lever and one bit of redstone, we get the fan, which looks super cool for the flags that I haven't told you about yet. And we can step in front of it and it will blow us along. Nice and easy. Thank you very much. Promise you that's not me walking. Or we could go over here and we could throw an item in front of it and watch it get blown along there too, adding for some extra elements there of gameplay variety, I guess. Some changes to farms maybe. And then lastly for this little section, we've got a redstone drill, which again is powerable. So we'll turn that on and you see the drill gets animated. And if I place down a block here, it will break the block for us, which is cool. And now that one's obviously a type of wood. What happens if we get a type of stone somewhere down here? Could be easier if it would find it. There we go. So let's grab andesite bricks. Why not? Grab that for me, place that down, and almost instantly breaks it as well. Not even taking long, which then begs the question, what happens with obsidian? So obsidian, thank you. We'll grab that. We'll even grab some crying ones. Why not? So obsidian practically breaks it instantly. Take one of these into the nether with you and you get the block as well. That's super cool. I like that. Maybe a little bit OP if we're being honest, but I like that. So as you guys can tell, like I did when I first saw RealismCraft, I'm very much enjoying how much content is added into this dynamic world, into this creation and how it changes Minecraft. I think this is quite awesome. I do think there are some negatives to certain things. Like I said, the drill is slightly OP and whatnot, but I think the positives far outweigh the negatives, and we aren't even anywhere near being finished this video. I got to be honest with you. So if you're tired of my voice, I'm sorry, but I'm really enjoying looking at this. So we've got a ton of furniture that is added in here, and I'll show you the little one here on this family here, and then we'll just glance over the rest because they are just reskinned. So we've got a thing here called the oak planter, and what I want to do here is just have a look with some seeds. Are they as simple as just place the seeds in and let it grow? No, they're not. Okay, so what if we was to grab a hoe? How does that work? Let's grab a stone hoe. We're not flexing here. No, that doesn't seem to want to do it either. Okay. How's this going then? Is it for flowers? 1 second. Let's go for the only flower that matters. Thank you. Lily of the Valley. Ah. So it's not a grower. We're not talking farming pots here. We're literally talking flower pots. Okay. And a super cool thing for this as well that I remember noticing. We go here. We can place this on there and it goes into like a little half thing. We can't do the little join step that we've got there, but we could easily make this into like a windowsill style block face here, which is quite cool. I wonder if there's any other functionality that I'm missing here. I'm not sure, but I do think it's quite cool how this can just change. So some add-ons or some vanilla elements would make it just remain a full block, sticking out miles. I like that this changes depending on what it's on, so I'm very happy with that. Now, how does it look if we put this in here? Yeah, okay, that's cool. If you click it again, no, it doesn't change depending on how many times you click it. So you can make a nice little design going on here. In fact, let's get rid of that one. Let's place this one here. Go a little bit crazy with it. You know what I mean? You can't place it underneath, so that's cool. Can't place it underneath. But that's like that's a nice little design going on. I wish you could kind of place it here as like a half block. But hey, what can you do? Although, sorry, I'm just testing things now. I know you guys want to see the rest of the stuff, but I just want to see this oak step. What happens then if I place that? Can't do that there because it's a opposite block. What if I place it? No. Oh, okay, so I wanted to see if you could place it underneath and just block this, so you won't be able to apparently. That's a shame, but I suppose, again, restrictions of the world. I think that's a nice flower design though. That's kind of cool. Okay, anyway, so carry on. So we've got the oak planter like I said. We've also got an oak closet, which you can't interact with, so it's not an actual storage piece, it's just a piece. We've got this here, which you can sit in, get your nice little seated animation or seated model there, and that's an oak stool. We've got an oak short table, which if I clear that just to see, can we do anything with? No. We've got an oak chair, which again, if I clear that, we can sit in. You guys would have seen me sat with a Sentinel if you check out the community posts with my mate over there. But yeah, nice. Interact with the chair to sit in it, jump out to get out of it. We then have the oak cabinet, which again, not interactable. You can't go into the drawers or anything. It's not an actual storage piece, but it is a nice design piece. And then you've got the oak table. And this is just kind of, I was going to say copied across, but it's, you know, it's the same for every wood type, shall we say. I don't want to make it sound like it's bad, but it is there for every wood type, including the nether types. And then in the background, the keen-eyed amongst you would have seen that there is a armchair in every color in Minecraft. So matching wall colors here. We've got the armchairs. Let's throw that over there. Let's sit down in this. And yeah, look, just kit back, relaxed. Oh, look how comfy I look. Don't I look so comfy right there? I think this is such a cool thing to do. Sitting in stuff in Minecraft when it's done right, just, it's so good. I don't know why, it just tickles the right areas, to be fair. And then also we've got curtains. Now, this is the one curtain piece. You can see here, you can hang it and it will be a half block. Or if you place one underneath, it extends to be a double block, which is good. If you grab a second color, it doesn't make it a mix. It does just remain half and half. So just bear that in mind. But some curtains added to the world that you can make varying sizes. I do wonder, can you make it free? Is it like extendable? It is. It is extendable. It's not just 2 blocks. Get rid of that. I mean, that's a 4 high curtain right there. How big are your windows? And again, no, it's like endlessly extendable. Okay, and it fixes along there too. That's cool. And these are available in every wall color as well, which is cool too, I think, which is quite good. And none of these seem to be entities, which is another awesome thing as well. Interactable, but not entities. I mean, RealismCraft is probably a lag machine on certain devices already. So any way they can cut corners, or not cut corners, but cut that lag out, I guess, is going to be a great thing. Next up then, over here, we've got more decorational pieces. So we've got what is called a candelabra. We've got one in iron, one in gold, one in netherite, and then we've got one in every copper piece, waxed and unwaxed on there too. So that's good to see. And I believe they do actually give off light levels. I can't remember. Let me do that. And then let me go to midnight. So yeah, they are generating a light there, which is good. Let me break that. Does that affect light? I think it's affecting light. Let's just... Yes, it is. It is affecting light. Okay. I now don't have enough to put them back. So we'll just put back a few representatives. But yeah, that's good to know. What I want to do next is just set this back to daytime and then turn that back off. Thank you very much. Which is that one. Thank you. And then lastly, for this little area, we've got the antler mount as well, which just sits there on the wall looking super cool. I like it. I like it. Decorations, bringing life to the world. Very good. Another purely decorational section here that we've got. We can start off over here, but it is a straw block, I guess, on there to kind of mirror the hay bale really, as just like a filler block, I guess. And then we've got these over here. So we've got a cocoa bean sack, we've got cod baskets, we've got sugarcane bale, again to mirror the hay bale there, probably more so for the sugarcane block in fact. We've got sweet berry sacks, sugar sacks, salmon baskets, brown mushroom baskets, red mushroom baskets, apple baskets, carrot baskets, potato baskets, and beetroot baskets. Now, if we go into survival here, just want to check, like, can I actually get food out of these? Is this... I can't seem to take anything out of it. If I hit it, no, it just breaks it. Same over here for the mushroom. So it's not like you're storing actual food in here. These seem to be purely decorational, which, okay, that's a shame, but okay, I guess, you know, that's just kind of how it is. Where's my creative menu? There we go. Thank you. And then one of the big features that is added in this are flags. So there are 2 different types of flags. I can show you from this end. We've got pink flags, or basically any color of flag in general. And then we've got the waypoint flag. Now, the waypoint flag is very good to be able to show you where things are off in the distance, and you don't necessarily need to use a map for it. So first of all, if you interact on it, you can, I believe, change. Okay, if you interact on it, do you have to be crouched? No, if you interact on it, there we go. I was messing up a little bit there, but if you interact on it, you can change the emblem that it's showing, so you can group it, and I'll show you more about that later. And then on the actual flags as well, you can do so with this too. These do start off plain, but you can then go through the same cycle of stuff. So flags and waypoint flags here, and how you use these involves using a compass. So if we grab this over here, what we're going to do is I'm going to go over there, far distance. That's what we want to do. I'm going to grab my waypoint flag, my pink waypoint flag. Did I say these are available in every color in Minecraft? I can't remember, but they are, as I run into a wall. And I want to place it behind something. So I'm going to place this here. Boom. Thank you. And we will choose, let's go for, we go for that one. There you go. So basically I've seen that spot. I want to mine there. I've made it a pickaxe. I'm going back to my base, going to have a little chill, relax, see how it's going. And then when I'm there, I want to remember, oh, where was that mining place again? Grab my compass. It pops up on the screen to tell me it's over there. It's 240-ish blocks away, and it's my mining point because I've added it to the mining emblem group. Very cool. Now the compass doesn't point towards it. The compass should still point towards spawn, I believe, which I think was over there for me. So it hasn't defaulted to just point at the area, because that would be a little bit annoying, because it's in my inventory. It's aiming me in that direction. So it's definitely not towards that. But yeah, very, very good. And you can see here as well where I've placed down tons of them. Now it only shows you the waypoint ones. Even though you can change the design here, they don't appear on here. This is more of like, just when you come across it, you can immediately see what it is. But if you want to know where it is from a distance, there they are. And if you have a load next to each other, they will show off a ton. And last but definitely not least, for the blocks, and I think these sit as blocks to be fair, there are tents added to the world. So they're just called tents. You can't interact with them, but if we go in, well, you can interact with them, but you can't pick them, sorry. If you go into the creative menu, we've got the tents here, available in all of the different colors, like so. And you can interact with them. You get inside, it closes, and I'm guessing that you go to sleep and you can exit out of it. Now, if we go into the do daylight cycle true and we set the world to nighttime, midnight, in fact, and we get in one, does it interact like a bed? Time seems to be sped up. Look how fast the night's going. It's not like a time skip in terms of sleeping, but time is definitely moving faster. We get to daytime, the sun is raised, and then I jump out and it's slow. So it speeds up the time getting into the tent. That's nice. That's actually, I've not seen that before. I think that's quite cool. And then as you see, all of the different colors. So what we're seeing a lot of is a lot of the same textures being used in different areas, which I'm normally very much against. I like to see uniqueness in a lot of block faces and block textures. But for something like this, where there's so much content, I think that becomes a secondary or even like a thirdly level point. There's a ton of different blocks in here, and hopefully I've been able to show them off to you and show off a few of the usages of them as well. Let's move on and have a look at the different weapons and armors that are introduced in RealismCraft 2.0. We're going to start with the armors in this section, and boy, let me tell you, we've got some awesome ones. So let's start with the beefy one from the brand new material in the end, Viridium. So we're going to grab all 4 pieces. Now, Viridium sits somewhere between Diamond and Netherite, okay? So slightly above Diamond, just below Netherite, but they have got their own special abilities. So we're going to go through, we're going to see as many of them as possible. Let's go into survival. We're going to place them on first. So it's 1.5 for the helmet. It's another 4 for the chest plate. It's 3 more for the leggings and then another 1.5 for the boots, which makes you look super cool and beefy like this, to be honest with you. Now, with the helmet, if I've got this correctly, the helmet, when you're hit by a projectile, it will teleport you out of the way. That's the special ability of the helmet. The leggings, when you use an ender pearl, the ender pearl will not break. It remains reusable and damage free. So those are cool. The boots, the special ability. Well, let me show you, shall I? If I walk over to the edge and fall off, we get a void platform. And it's essentially what I want to call a void walker. It's like Frost Walker, but as you're going over the air, it will allow you to just carry on walking. If you stand still, the blocks will start to fall away and then you will start to fall away. Just wait for it to go. If I stop moving, is it going to let me? There we go. And then you get it back again as we go through and it will just keep catching us as we go. If I crouch, it seems to disable that though. So if you want to drop down, just crouch, you'll pop through and make it to where you want to go, which I think is an awesome little feature because this is going to be an armor that you're going to wear in the end, and the void is bad enough as it is, so you don't want to be messing around with that. And then that just leaves the last type, which was the, I can't remember, was it the chest plate now? I believe it was. It was the chest plate, and the chest plate has a very special enchantment to it, which I've never seen before. So let's get down here. I took the boots off so that we could get down here. What I want to do is grab us a witch spawn egg, because she won't burn in the sun. So hello, how you doing, witch? And then I want to go into survival. So I've got the chest plate on now. We're going to go over here. Are we going to trigger her? Is she going to try and fight us? Yes, so she's going to attack us here. Now, what happens with the chest plate is when you hit 1 hit point, you don't die. It actually starts taking the damage from your XP bar. As you see, we're ticking down. I was on 25. I'm now on 24. And that's going to continue all the way down to 0, meaning you stay on half a heart for so long, depending on how many XP levels you have, giving you time to get away, giving you time to keep on fighting. Now, when your XP hits 0, that is when you will die. So you do not have an infinite life here. You just have a long time to be able to get out of a fight. And this is an enchantment I've never seen before. I think this is super cool. And Viridian armor, along with all of the armor pieces I'm going to show you here, they can all be enchanted with the appropriate enchantments, whether by book or in the enchantment table. So I don't need to test that. They are enchantable, which is super cool. So the next armor set that we've got here, this is a bit more of a technical one. So they are made to be put together, and I'm not sure what the armor set is actually supposed to be called, but we've got jumping boots, sprinter leggings, magnet chest plate, and engineer helmet, and each one has a different piece of ability to it, I guess is the best way to put it. I need to be careful because I'm on half a heart, but the helmet, for instance, has the ability to give you a heads up display. So in fact, I don't need to be in survival for this. We can go into creative. So what this does is if we head over here and we find, will it work with a crate? No, that just says empty, although that might actually be it working there, to be fair. What I want to find is a chest, actually. So let me go and get one of those, because this heads up display gives us a few different bits of information. So if we have chest here, place that down. This, yeah, there we go. So because I'm wearing the helmet here, the what's it called, the engineer helmet, we get a little pop-up here saying container filled 0%. And then if we was to start putting things in here, which is why it's a good thing I've got junk in my inventory, it now says container filled 0%. Now I'm not sure what the percentage means, if it's basing it based on each block piece or each space being 64 and there's 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That would basically be less than 1% if this was all 64. But I guess a few items should sit as 16, you know, the non-stackable items. I don't know, there's a few technical things around it, but this will show us what's going on in the chest without having to open it. If we pop over here, we can see the redstone dust. We get a redstone signal with 0. If we grab that witch spawn egg again as well, we should be able to see some health things from it. Let's grab this, place that down. And yet we see health 26 of 26 there too. So you get a ton of information from this helmet. And there's probably more information there that you get as well, not just what I've shown you. So that's quite nice and quite cool. And if we go into survival again, we're going to check the top here. So this helmet is giving us half an armor slot here. So not the strongest, not the most useful in an armor piece. Next up, we've got the magnet chest plate. And now the magnet chest plate, pretty much what you would expect. You throw down an item, the item will come to you. You get drops around, they will come to you. It just magnetizes things towards you. This is 2.5 armor slots here. If we grab the leggings are called sprinter leggings. And again, kind of does what it says on the tin. As you're running, you should start to get a boost. Yeah, you get a speed boost as you're running. The longer you run, you get that boost. So it's not instant, but after a while it does occur, which is quite nice. And that does an armor piece and a half. And then we've got the jumping boots. Now, unfortunately, I think I'm going to die here because I think there's a slight bug, which I've raised with the developers. But the jumping boots, in fact, if we do it here, if I'm holding down jump, I will progressively jump higher as we go. Now, it's supposed to go from 2 blocks to 4 blocks to 6 blocks. I can't quite get it to go 6 blocks. I'm just holding down the jump button now. If I'm spamming the jump button, it kind of just sticks there and then slowly gets a little bit more. Is it going to get a little bit more? I'm not sure, but I'm now spamming the jump button. I don't know if you can hear it, but if I hold it down, you see it a lot better. We get that springy animation in there to make us go up even more. So next up then we have the flippers, and now these are comparable to leather armor pieces here. If we go into survival really quickly, you'll see half an armor slot. They sit on your feet right here and they just make you faster when you're swimming. So if we drop down here and we go for a bit of a swim, you'll see, look, we are rapid right here. Look at that. Ain't no stopping me when we're swimming fast. Look at that. Kicking up the water behind us, very, very cool and very, very quickly. So that's nice and easy one there, just to make your swimming speed faster. And then the last one that we get is one that I really do like. I didn't quite understand it at first, but I've had a few people explain it to me, and I think it's a great option. So the miner helmet, if we put that on, it's a light on your head. And if we go into midnight view here, it does light us up, and it obviously gives us dynamic light as we're going. Now, my one question here, why I didn't like it at first, was I was kind of like, well, why do I need dynamic light? Because in RealismCraft, if you crouch and then interact with a torch, it goes into your offhand. And it's already dynamic light, right? So I was like, well, what do you need that for? And then it was very well explained to me that, well, when you're caving, you might need to hold a shield. And so you've got to choose between a shield and a torch. But you also want to be mining, so you're going to need a pickaxe. And that's where the miner's helmet comes in. Because you can just go and get yourself a shield like so. You can have yourself your axe like so, or your pickaxe like so even. Put the shield in your offhand, and you are still lighting up the world as you're digging around. Now, in terms of weapons, there are 5 new sets of weapons that are added to RealismCraft, plus a few weapon / blocks of weapons that we're going to get to as well. Now, for the weapon sets or the families of weapons, the Viridium tools all have a unique ability that they share, and that's any items or mob drops that are dropped by them, i.e. killing a mob with a Viridium weapon or mining a block with a Viridium tool. That item that they drop will immediately teleport into your inventory. I'm saying that now to get it out of the way, just in case I don't look or say it in the specific sections, but they also have a unique ability as well. So we'll get to that shortly. So we're going to start with scythes. Now the scythes, if I grab this one here, they stand, you get them 2-handed in your hand here. There's one for every single type of material. So we've got stone, iron, gold, diamond, netherite, and then Viridium. The Viridium, the special ability of this is it has life steal. So when you hit a mob with this, you will regain hearts. Now, the scythes in general also have a special ability, and that involves crops and grass and basically any other type of vegetation or planting item. When you farm one of these, not by interacting, so for me that's L2, not by doing that, but by actually breaking with R2 or the attack button, it will do a 3x3 destruction of the area. So if I break the center one, everything around it in a 3x3 space will also be broken. Here you go. There we go, making it easier to farm nice and quick. We'll do it again over here. We'll grab this one here, for instance. Bang. And it just makes farming that much easier. And that is on every single scythe through the set. And like I say, Viridium has got lifesteal. Now, I didn't say it, but the scythes are enchantable as well, so that's very good. And so are the next item, which is a dagger. And daggers, and it has to be plural here, because daggers are held in both hands. And as you can see, the animation is correct. Now, if you have an item already in your offhand, I believe they are still usable. So if we go into here, we're going to crouch, put that into the offhand, and then do that. Yes, they are still usable, but your offhand remains what you've chosen, and the dagger goes into your actual hand. Now, there is a caveat to this. The damage that the daggers do will be halved because you're only using one. But then if you free up your offhand, you can see here, they go into both hands again and you get the normal damage. Now, daggers do have a special ability here, and we're going to just grab a nice one. Let's grab diamonds. They're always nice to hold, aren't they? Let's grab those. Thank you. So as we're doing this, if you interact while holding the daggers like so, you will get a speed boost and you will be able to dash forward, which is quite nice. So we'll do that again. Boom, we jump forward and we get speed boost. Let's go for the back view like so. Do it, jump forward, and then speed boost to run. And that is on every dagger, but like the scythes, the Viridium ones have their own little ability. So if you hold down interact with it, you will get an outline of where you're going to teleport. So I'm holding down interact, I'm picking where I want to teleport, I'm letting go, and now I've teleported. These Viridium tools, man, they are quite OP, but they are quite awesome as well, I have to say. They're very cool. And these also have got that ability of when a mob drops an item from killing with these, it will teleport into your inventory as well. So the next set of weapons that we've got, or maybe these sit as tools, but we're going to call them weapons anyway, are the mining hammers. And again, these are available in every material that we have, and we're going to grab the diamond one here because these can be used again not by interacting. So if I interact, it doesn't do anything, but if I just attack or try to mine, it will take out a 3x3 space. So this is a very simple, mostly commonly used hammer right here, where it will make a mine shaft for you nice and easy as you pop through. And unfortunately, the Viridium one doesn't seem to have a special ability here of its own. It just shares the ability that all Viridium tools have. And now the last new family of weapons that are added to RealismCraft is actually what I believe is the strongest level of weapons. It's the staffs. Now, as you can see, they're not being held correctly by the armor stand. I have raised that with the devs, and hopefully that will be fixed. And to get these, you will need to craft the base staff first. Now, this is just a standard staff. It doesn't have any special abilities, but I guess you do empower it later. These staffs can be enchanted. So if we take this one, this is the flame staff right here. And if we try to put this in, I'm going to use a mending book. We can see it doesn't, not in that way, change them around that way, boom. It does enchant the staff with mending, and we can put that down there too. Now this does have an ability, it will fire out fire as we go. And a special feature of this is it's not supposed to use your ability when doing an ability. It's supposed to use your XP bar, which again, using XP in such a creative way, reinventing the game here basically, which is so cool. Now I did notice that these do take durability in the copy that I have, so I'm going to raise that with the devs as well. Hopefully that will be fixed or clarified one way or another, but I really hope it is the case that it doesn't take durability using the special ability and that it only takes the XP, because I think that's so very creative. So I'm not going to show you what each of the abilities are. I want you guys to experience them, but I will name them. So the first one was a flame staff. Then we have the destruction staff. We then have the summoner staff. We then have the lightning staff. We then have the ocean. And then the ender staff as well. And that's all of the staffs that are added in to RealismCraft 2.0. But the fun for the weapons doesn't stop there, because Viridium does get its own set of tools. So we've got the sword, the axe, the pickaxe, we've got the shovel and the hoe as well, as you would expect. And like I said earlier, these sit somewhere between diamond and netherite in the power scale, and they have that ability where when you have a drop from them, it will teleport into your inventory. So that is the Viridium tools right there. And if I grab the sword, we can just have a quick look at what kind of damage we're talking about here. Take that off there. The sword will do 7 attack damage. So quite nice there, to be honest with you. And I like that it's going to be a very end-based weapon set. And then lastly, we have these. These are called the climbing picks, and again, these sit in both hands. Now, unlike the daggers, if I'm not mistaken, if you have something in your offhand here, I don't think these work. Let's just check. I'm going to put that there and then grab that. Oh no, they sit there. Are they usable? I don't think they're usable, but then again, I may have been using that wrong. 1 second, let's interact. Oh no, they are. Oh, there we go. You see? Okay, that's what it is. Whatever's in your offhand will either get placed or put aside to then use them correctly. But you can climb up, so that's nice. And there is a cool animation there too as we go there. So I used L2 to begin this, and then because I didn't step away from the wall properly, I can just go forward to do that, I believe. What happens if I just walk up to it? I'm a liar. You just walk up to it. You don't have to interact. There we go. And then to close out this section, we have got 3 weapon style blocks. Now, the first one is super easy. It's called spikes, and you can step on them and they will cause you damage as you step. So a nice defensive block there. One that will attack players and mobs as well. Another one that we have is a turret. You can load this with iron nuggets and gold nuggets, and it will fire them off against a mob within a 10 block radius. And then lastly, we have a cannon. Now, a cannon can be put on either a boat or on a hot air balloon, and you will use gunpowder to load it up, and it will fire cannonballs from that gunpowder. If you want to see that being used and don't want to see me die on spikes, then go and check out the transport video where we look at hot air balloons, boats, and a new transport block as well. But now let's go and have a look at the items that we get in this dynamic world. So the first item that I'm going to tell you about can also be a placeable block. So this is an inactive soul urn, and you can also get just a soul urn. So the item is a soul urn, and then when it's used, you have an inactive soul urn. And now this can be used to protect your weapons and your experience levels when you die. Well, not your weapons, but basically anything that you're holding and your experience levels when you die. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here. We're going to find a place that we can just land and drop, right? So, in fact, let me show you guys first of all, before I'm falling. If we go into survival, you can see I have 17 levels and I have a whole host of stuff on me here that I wouldn't want to lose. I also have, oh no, I thought I had a helmet on, but I don't. That's good. Okay, go into creative. We're going to pop over here. We're going to go to where we're going to definitely die when we fall, and we're going to hit survival. See you later! And the urn gets placed on the floor where we died. Now, there doesn't seem to be any indicator of where that is, so you will have to remember where you was when you died. So where we died, a soul urn has been placed. Now, if we go back into survival again, you'll see I have no experience points. If I interact with this, I get everything back. All of my experience points and all of the items that were dropped as well. And then with a pickaxe, which I of course do not have on me, you can mine this and get this back as the inactive soul urn as well. Now bear in mind, this is made from obsidian and a wither bone, I believe it was. So it's not going to be easy to bring back. So with a diamond pickaxe, it's basically like mining stone, right? Mining obsidian, sorry, if I could talk correctly. I was thinking of something else. as I did that. What I was thinking of was if you place that down as a block and you don't want to sit here and mine that for ages, what happens if you go into creative and you go to drill? So we're going to grab a drill like that, and then we're going to grab a lever like so, and then we're going to grab lastly redstone. Any idea I had of this video being short, way out the window, but I don't mind. So we're going to pop that there. We're going to grab that, and we're going to grab that. Now I want to place this down. Where do I place it? Like that? Yeah, there we go. Place that back into survival. Oh, the drill does mine obsidian instantly. Okay, cool. That was worth the test then. Fair enough. Thank you very much. So yeah, that was the soul urn, which will give you the ability to save your experience points and your weapons when you die, and then becomes a decorative block. And then the more traditional items that get added in RealismCraft 2.0 are as such. So with a lot of the new mobs comes a lot of new mob drops. We get raw venison and cooked venison along with antlers. We get a penguin egg and we get an ostrich egg. We get something called a blight ring. We get a spore clump, and we also get power powder. And then we have a load of amplified potions. So these come in all three versions of potions. We've got amplified potion of leaping, amplified potion of swiftness. We've got one of poison, one of slowness, one of regeneration, one of turtle master, and then an amplified potion of strength as well. And these are available in splash potion as well as lingering potion. So that's the majority of the items. And then one more that we get as well is called a rope. Nice and simple. This can be placed down like a block as well, and should be somewhat climbable. So I've not actually tested this yet. If we go here, there we go. I'm climbing it. You see it? And we get the animation there as well to just climb as we go. Now these can be placed. It's probably best to do it in creative. What we can do is we're going to go here. We're going to just place up a ton like so we can get a real effect of this. We're going to come away from the wall so you know I'm not holding on to any walls. And then we're going to place down a rope. And now one rope can build off of each other, very much like iron bars on here. I'm going to place these all the way down. And these make traveling easier in certain situations. Maybe makes a tree house a little bit more fun to have as well if you want one. But we're going to place these all the way down here. Now this should be enough to give the effect that I want to give. So we'll place this here. We're going to go back into survival. We're going to come into this area. Gonna just sit there and climb. You jump to attach, and then you climb, and then when you let go of climb, you automatically go down. You also seem to be given some form of an effect. I'm not sure what that one is. It's not sitting there enough. Is it levitation maybe? But it disappears too quick for me to see it. RealismCraft 2.0 also introduces gliders to the mix, but we're not going to be looking at those in this video. We're going to look at them in the transport video with the hot air balloons, the boats, and the transport block that teleports you. So go and check out that video if you want to check that. Link down in the description. But it also introduces a backpack. So if we grab this one, for instance, we can place it down on the ground like so. We can then interact with it to put things in it. So it's basically a movable chest. And if we crouch and interact with it, it goes on our back like so. Look at that. We got a nice pink backpack to run around with, moving our inventory along with us, giving us a lot more space. And it sits in the chest plate spot. If you sneak interact with an empty hand, you can open it. So we're going to sneak and interact. No, we're not, apparently. Hang on. No, doesn't let me do that. Hang on. Sneak interact with an empty hand. That's what I'm trying to do. Sneak and interact. I can't seem to take it off. Okay. Not sure what I'm doing wrong there. I can't pick it up. Okay. Like I said, this is early access, right? So, you know, there could be some bugs. I'll raise that with the developer. So it looks like we're carrying on this video with a backpack on our back. Now, again, it is early access, so hopefully this will all be ironed out. I'm reserving judgment on the bugs until I see the final piece. But yeah, I will raise everything that I've shown here with the devs, along with a few other bugs that I may find going through this series. But we're going to look at the mobs now, and they can be pretty much split into 4 different sections. We've got companions, we've got hostile mobs, we've got traders, and we've got more natural mobs. So we're going to go through each of these. We're going to start with the companion. Now, I'm not going to look at the quarry golem. This currently isn't working for me, and there's no point me showing you that. So I'm going to raise that with the devs, and we'll see how that goes. And then also we've got the Ender Drake. Now, the Ender Drake does work. So let's get down here somewhere that we can put this. The Ender Drake is the baby Ender Dragon that you can ride on. So if we go here, I'm going to stay in creative for this, and we're going to go over here and place this down. And there is the Ender Drake. Now, I can interact with the Ender Drake to put a saddle on. So let's go and find ourselves a saddle. Now, normally I would be prepared. Or I suppose it's 50-50 really. If I'm ever prepared, just grab the saddle. We're going to go there, put that on there, and then we're going to sit on. And we can run with. Apparently we can shoot. Which, yeah, we do. We shoot fireballs. Look, there we go. We're shooting Ender Dragon fireballs. Very nice. And then to fly, how are we flying? How are we flying? I'm holding down R2. Doesn't seem to want to do anything. Let's go here. Oh, he's flying. I mean, yeah, okay. He's pretty much flying wherever he wants. There we go. Flying however he wants to fly. But we have got an Ender Drake. So there we go. I need to learn how to fly the guy. But the Ender Drake is here. So that's cool. Very, very nice. And that's the companion one that I'm going to show you. Like I say, there is a quarry golem that is supposed to help you mine large areas out. And you use a quarry marker to show that off as well. But I couldn't get that to work. So this is the Drake. So the next set of mobs that we've got are the hostile mobs, and we're going to do this a bit separate. I'm going to introduce you to them, I'm going to tell you what they drop, and then we're going to spawn them in. So to begin with, we've got a blight, we've then got a nordle, a snare plant, a shroom pool, we've then got an ore grub, we've got a creeper, but more specifically this is a cave creeper, which is a variant of creeper that I'll show you, and then we've also got a dweller. So, for the blight, when you kill a blight, it gives us a blight ring. When you kill a nordle, it drops fish. I couldn't get a snare plant to drop anything, so I'm not sure what that drops. The shroom pool drops mushrooms, as well as this thing at the top here, which is a spore clump. The ore grub drops ores, and I could consistently make it drop lapis lazuli, gold, ore or raw gold, and coal. So that seems to be some of its better drops. We've got the cave creeper, which just drops gunpowder, and then we've got the dweller, which drops rotten flesh and bones. So if we head over here, we'll spawn them in. So we're going to get the blight first. The blight looking kind of like a space jellyfish there, how it spawns in, which is cool. And we'll do a couple to see if we get any variations. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't even look like the size there, to be honest with you. But I think in the end, that's going to be super cool. So we'll see that during the end video that I'm going to do. So again, links to that video down in the description if you want to see that. I think this video has been long enough so far. We've then got a nordle, which when we spawn in, this is like this is an ocean one. And as you can see, it does take damage. Not necessarily any sounds from the ocean one either there, to be honest, which is a shame. But fair dues. In fact, we can spawn him in here. I put the water there for a reason. There we go. Looking very, very violent. Okie dokie. Doesn't look like there's any variations on that guy either. We've then got a snare plant. Now, these are supposed to sit in wait for you. And I believe the color of this might change depending on biome, because I remember it being a bit more red. So yeah, there are variants. It's not biome specific. It's just variants. Okay. And then the idea is that you'd walk over it and it catches you in its snare. And then you have to try and get out of it, fight your way out of it until one of you dies, which I don't know how you do that because it doesn't want to die. So let me go. Whoa, we fell through the ground. Thank you very much. So that's the snare plant, which I couldn't get my way back up. Thank you. We've then got shroom pools, which we've got little ones with the red. We've got a medium one in the brown. We've got another little one in the brown. And Okay, he just ate the little one to make himself bigger. Then we got another big one. Doesn't want to eat him. There's a big red one who's probably looking for a medium-sized one. Here we go, look, look, look. Then he eats him to become him. Okay, so they eat the baby ones, but they don't seem to eat any of the others. Is he going to eat him? I don't know. Is he walking over? What a mechanic that is. Oh, he's looked at him. Hang on. Oh, he's been snared. He's snared in the plant. That's cool. No, he's not going to eat him. Okay. Just how crazy is that? Look, that guy eats that one to become this guy. That's kind of mad still. Okay. Then we've got ore grubs, which is this thing here, which will drop the ores when you kill it, and we get different colors of him. We've got the cave creeper, which we'll go to at the end. And then we've got the dweller, which is this scary looking guy. And apparently the dweller is supposed to hunt you in the cave. It is supposed to be an actual dweller, which is super, super creepy. I'm not looking forward to that. So I'm deep underground so I can show you guys the cave creeper, and it means I get to put on the miner helmet and use the dynamic light. And so for the cave creeper then, we can see over here, it's a variation of creeper which you would get from a standard creeper egg, and it always becomes this cave creeper looking guy with the lit up face and the kind of mossy body here, which is super cool. There is a bit of a pop-in animation. I don't know if that's because I'm on a realm or if that's because of early access, but yeah, when you're inside a cave, the game knows to give you the cave creeper. And when you're outside of a cave, i.e. back up on the surface, it should know to just give you a standard creeper. So we're going to go up and test that really quickly. We're over here. We're going to just pop back into creative. We're going to spawn an actual creeper. And then, yeah, we get the normal RealismCraft creepers, which I believe has a variation to it. Although these guys don't seem to want to be variants. Fair dues, maybe they don't have a variation. Not sure. But it knows to give you the standard creeper on the overworld. And the third group of mobs that we get here in RealismCraft 2.0 are the traders. So we get a wandering miner, we get a wandering scribe, we get a wandering hunter, and we get a wandering herbalist. Now each of these have specific spawning conditions. So like for instance, the miner spawns in overworld mines above deep slate level, for instance. The other three have specific biomes that they spawn in. 3 of them though will spawn up here on this platform, so I can show those straight away. So we get the miner right here, who looks like this guy, spawns with a llama as well, because what trader doesn't? We can interact with him and we can see he's selling some stuff for emeralds in here. We can get some rope, we can get some spikes, mine carts, some good stuff there. Not great, but good stuff. There's then a wandering scribe here, which we can then interact with as well. And he gives us books and flags, so that's cool, not bad. We've then got the herbalist, which will spawn in, and they kind of have that villager aesthetic to them as well, which is nice. Going to spawn that, and he gives us the more seeds and planty kind of stuff. Do we get variations on them? No, doesn't look like it. And the hunter doesn't seem to want to spawn here. Like you can see, he tries, but he's very much married to his biome. So I'm going to head over to his biome. I'm going to take my helmet off as well, and then I'm going to go and see if we can find the hunter. So the hunter has spawned in here, and I think it's a case that he spawns in invisible when you use his egg, and then he takes a little while to come out back into like looking normal, but that's okay. We're here. So we've got the hunter now, and he spawned, or he trades with us, sorry, some animal drops, some spikes, you know, just hunter related stuff. And again, they've all got that villager aesthetic. He's kind of cool though. He's got like a scar on his eye, if you'll let me see it. Like the eye slightly deadened where he's been in a fight with animals. That's nice. That's some good creativity. All right, we're going to go and check out the natural mobs now that the hunter would probably hunt. And so lastly, for the mobs then, we've got the more natural ones. So we'll do the same again then. I'll introduce you and then tell you the drops, and then introduce you to how they look. So we get a shark, we get penguins, we get crocodiles, seagulls, jellyfish, lions, elephants, ostriches, we get deer, we get a bear, and we get a snail. And from what I was doing with some testing, the shark drops bones and fish. I couldn't get the penguin to drop anything. The crocodile drops fish and leather. The seagull drops feathers. The jellyfish drops slime balls. The lion drops bones. The elephant I couldn't get to drop anything. The ostrich drops feathers. The deer drops raw venison. The bear drops fish, and the snail drops slime balls. So let's get ourselves a shark to begin with. And now the cool thing about these is these do spawn in variations. So one shark completely ruins what I'm trying to say, but there we go. One shark can give you multiple different variations of sharks. I've seen hammerheads. I've seen tons of different ones, to be honest with you. They seem to be a little bit rarer today, but there we go. So tons of different sharks added in. There are some custom sounds to them. Bit weird that they would be for this one, but not for the hostile mob, but there are some custom sounds. Next up, we've got the penguin, which I can show you on here. The penguin is this little guy. We got a little happy feet dude, and we got the bigger guy there as well. So a little baby one and a normal one. Doesn't look like variations there. We've then got, I just want to see where I can grab him and then grab him. There we go. We've then got crocodiles on here, and these will give you variations in color. A few different ones on here. And we've got some custom sounds for these guys as well. We've then got seagulls. He dropped a feather on being alive. Okay, there we go. But yeah, we've got some seagulls here. And with some custom sounds. There's a jellyfish, which we'll put into here. Got a little pink one. Another pink one. There's a green one. Now they don't see... Oh, they seem to be dying in water for some reason. Okay. Do jellyfish not live in water? Does it have to be deep water? I don't know. Jellyfish seem to be... No, they seem to be dying. I'm not sure where jellyfish live, but they're dropping slimes. And then we've got lions. On here, these guys are majestic. We've got the male and we've got the female here. We've got elephants, who are huge, on here too. And again, just a couple more on there. Some baby ones spawning in. And then we've got an ostrich, which we're running out of space, so we'll do over here. Nice big ostrich guy. Couple variations in color. And then we've got deer, which some spawn with antlers, some don't. Some spawn in different colors. So we've got males, females, and variants. And then we've got a bear on here. Big grizzly. Got the black bear as well. Don't know if we've got any other ones. And then lastly, we've got the snail on here too, in different colors as well. So those are the hostile mobs. Those have been the items. Those have been the weapons, the armors, and the blocks. This video is probably about 4 hours long, so I'll try and edit it down to as much as I can. But hopefully you guys enjoyed taking a look at this stuff. And again, let me stress, this is an early access copy. I'm also playing on a Realm. I'm also playing on PS5 when I think this copy is supposed to be used on PC. So a few different things on my end. Could have made a few things not work, but I'm going to put my feedback to the devs as well, and hopefully they'll be able to take some of that on board or even correct me. And if I get a lot of corrections, I'll do another video correcting my mistake. Hey, how's it going, guys? I just wanted to say, if you're watching the super long mega version of this video where it's got every section included, blocks, mobs, structures, and the end, you're awesome. That's all I wanted to say. So RealismCraft 2.0 brings in about 4 different types of transporting features to the new dynamic world, and we're going to start with the first one, which is gliders. Now, if anyone's seen my recent content, I am super excited for paragliders being introduced to Minecraft more and more. I think they're awesome. And with the gliders, you get a base glider, and then you have gliders in every color. And what we can do here is we're going to go into survival mode from up here. By the way, if you see anything here that you like, make sure you go and check out the super long video that I have looking at the mobs, the items, the armors, weapons, and blocks, or check out the super long video that I have, which is going to take all of my RealismCraft 2.0 features and put them into one video for you to watch and binge at your own pleasure. But we're here to look at gliders, so we're going to go into survival mode, and what I think you do, you jump and press interact. There we go, that's that. But we don't have enough height there, so we're going to go here. We're going to do it from here and interact. And our glider, we take hold of it. It takes durability. We're going to push forward and get some actual movement here as well. I think this is nice, man. I'm a big fan of gliders. I really like them. And we just want to make sure that when we land, we don't take any damage. Very nice indeed. I think that's so cool. I just think gliders is such a big Minecraft style transportation device. Let me know what you guys think, because I really want to see them more and more. I want to see them in the base game, in fairness. If we grab one as well, obviously red being my favorite color, blue being the channel color, we can go again and just see what happens as we jump off in first person. So let's go here, or third person, sorry. I'm going to jump off L2 and we get our red one here, and we are flying down. And then, oh, okay, if I crouch, it looks like I'm walking. Okay, that's weird. And then it goes into like a walking animation there. That's a bit weird. Okay, maybe don't hit crouch when you're doing that. Interesting. All right, early access, so maybe that's just a feature of the early access copy that I've got and not an actual feature of RealismCraft. That did look a little bit janky there. And then the light blue one, just so we can see what we're dealing with here again. So back into survival, going to go from this way again, and we're going to jump off and boom. And then we can just sprint and it sends us forward. We get given slow falling as well to make sure that we don't take any damage as we land. We get some good maneuverability on here as well. I'm a big fan of that. Big fan of that. All right, let's get back up to the platform and let's see the other three. Now, if you've watched the block video, you'll already be introduced to this, but I'm going to reintroduce it here as well, just in case you haven't watched that video, because it's relevant here. So there is a cannon introduced into RealismCraft 2.0. We have to get it from the creative menu because I can't pick block it. But it can be placed on sailboats and it can be placed on hot air balloons as gun turrets and defensive weaponry. Now you load it with gunpowder and you will be able to control it and fire from it and move it around. So I wanted to introduce it to you here before we go and look at hot air balloons and sailboats, so you know that it exists when we use it. If you enjoyed today's video, please do remember to hit the like button. It does help the channel out so much. And get down in the comments. Let me know. Are you excited for RealismCraft 2.0? Did you use RealismCraft 1.0 at all? And what are you hoping to see in this version or in future versions? And if you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button as well. I'd greatly appreciate it. Let's go. So with that introduction out of the way, then the next element that I'm going to show you are sailboats. Now these are entities, but we have them in various different designs. So there's this one here, which I can't seem to pick blocks. So we're going to go into here and we're going to go to sailboats so I can show you all of the different names. So we've got oak sailboat, spruce, birch, jungle, acacia, dark oak, mangrove, cherry, and pale oak. So all of the overworld wood types have a sailboat here. They all have pretty much the same design, just taking on the elements of the wood that they're from. And like I said, they're entities. And when you go down here into the ocean, we're going to place one down and we're just going to see how it is to use it. So I've not used one yet. So we're going to place this down here like so. Now, how do we sail it? I'm going to just sit in it. Like so. Gonna go forward. Now, am I facing the right way? Yes, I am facing the right way. So we got the sailboat and it's pretty much motorized. I'm not pushing forward on my analog stick. I am just moving left and right. There was some geezer there that decided to follow me on a glider. Not sure what that was. But you would steer it with your normal movement direction. So left and right on my left D-pad. Not sure who these guys are following me with paragliders though, should be said. And then I seem to have slowed down. So I'm going to press forward again. Okay, now we're driving again. So we've got some good driving going on. A little bit clunky, but no clunkier than an actual boat. We've got animations going on there too with the water. If I go into survival as well, because like I say, this is an entity. We've got a boat spawning there as well, just in case we're seeing any damages or any horse stuff, but we're not. So nothing different in survival as we're driving through. And then if I jump up, okay, so you do jump off it if you jump off while moving. Let's go up here. Can I get on it? Can't seem to get on it. So don't jump off it, basically, is what I'm saying to you there. Okay, no, you can jump. Oh, okay. So if you're standing specifically on like the seat bit, you can. But after a while, it will just let you fall through. Look. You see, and then it moves and then you fall through. So there is a bit of clipping going on there. Interesting. Okay, and then with the cannon, I'm going to try and place this down. There we go. You can place it down, And if I can show you it, it sits on the front. So I was trying to place it on the back, but it sits on the front like so. And we've got our cannon, which we're able to move around. If we go into first person, we're able to aim it how we would. Now visibility is harder to see where we're going. It's not the easiest in third person either. If we're going to go into survival again, just to see what's happening, I've got gunpowder. Can I place this in here? Not like this. Okay. All right, this is a bit clunky for me to use. Now, this is definitely from me not like practicing with it, but gunpowder is used to load it with the fuse. Now the fuse is ready. I'm going to sit back down, I think. Can I interact with it? Yeah, we interact with it. We're here. Like so. And then what do I do to fire it? R2? Nope. R2 broke it. Because I'm in creative and I'm an idiot. Okay, let's... No. X. Okay, X fires it. Oh, you gotta aim it properly though. Okay, I only had one gunpowder there. So you can load it while you're sat. That's good to know. Let's jump into here again. Gunpowder. We're going to take quite a lot of that because we want to load it up. Thank you. Back into survival. Aim it up high. If I remember the button to shoot. What was it? Place that down. X. Fired it. And boom. And we're doing damage to the pirate ship. Come on now. Gonna send you down to Davy Jones's locker. Oh, we missed. How do we miss? How do we miss, if you don't mind? How did we miss? All right, we're gonna take one off from here. Aim up. Fire! Boom. Got a hole in your sail, my friend. Let's go again. There we go. We're just doing damage on here. Okay, I like this. This is nice. The boat's a little bit clunky to drive, but I've never been very good with boats in general. And then you add the cannon on here. This is nice. If this is a multiplayer feature as well, so that somebody else can drive while I'm loading, this would be so cool. Just wrecking it. Okay, that's nice. All right, let's go and check out the hot air balloon. So there is a wider selection of hot air balloons than there are boats, and they seem to take every wall color here. So we go all the way along the different colors, again using that same design all the way through here and just giving the variation of colors so you can choose your favorite color if you want. Massive shadows at the bottom, again signifying that they are entities. And if we grab the cannon here on this one, I'm going to place that down, put one on that side. Can you put one on multiple sides? Doesn't look like it. Okay, no, it seems to just default to the one. Hold on, I'm going to place one here. And then if I get into you, because that seems to... Okay, no, that's fine, but you can only place it on the one side. Place there. Yeah, no, it's only on the one side there. All right, so if we go into survival again then, I'm going to try it. I'm going to ride this one. So X, is that right? No. How does it look when you're in there? There we go, got my cannon there ready. First person looking cool. How do you drive it? Oh, so as you turn, the cannon seems to turn with you if you turn correctly. Alright, so it's not necessarily about having it on all sides. It's always supposed to be in front of where you're looking. Okay, that's cool. So what if I then press R2? No. L2? No. How do you fly it? Just up on the analog stick? No. Down on the analog stick. Can't seem to fly this. How do we do this? Should have probably looked at this. Gunpowder on there? No, that's just put it on that. So I was on the right track when I tried to use gunpowder up here, but it's not gunpowder. It's coal. You put coal on, and there we go. We start to raise up. And then you can, just using your D-pad, or not your D-pad, your analog stick, or whatever directional buttons you have, guide the thing to go where you want it to go. And then slowly it runs out of power and then you start to descend. Now you can't seem to place more than... Oh, you can place more than one. There we go. Okay, put it in survival, you play differently. So there's that. And we are raising up with the coal. So the coal sends you upwards. Your directional buttons moves you. And the wind seems to control you a bit as well. Trying to just work out where to go here. And how to take it in the direction I want to go. I'm struggling a little bit to fly. Now, it is described as an alternative to the Happy Ghast, so it could be a little bit difficult to fly. But we are, I mean, we're flying, we're going through, we're doing what it says on the tin. We can load up our cannon. Let's fire it. Boom, we can fire our cannon as well. And you can also put chests in here as well, which is good. One thing you don't want to do when you're in a hot air balloon is press R3 and dismount though, because if there isn't water underneath you, you could die. So we've looked at the hot air balloons, we've looked at the sailboats, and we've looked at the gliders. There's one more travel tool that we can use in this dynamic world to get us from A to B, and that is this block. The Waystone block. And now the Waystone block is super cool. I think this is really nice how it looks. I think the animation is awesome, and hopefully how you use it will be good as well. So what you want to do is you're going to need at least two, basically point A and point B, and you want to dye them. So we're going to have this one over here, and I'm going to dye it green, and then we're going to have this one all the way over here, and I'm going to also dye this one green, and now they will be linked. They're linked because the color is the same, but also because the emblem is the same. We'll get into that shortly, but you can tell that they're working. They've got this little light, and then we're going to jump on it, and it waypoints us all the way across. We're going to jump again, and it puts us across. So jumping on the block triggers the teleport to work, which is awesome. Now, if you happen to have more than one, or more than two even, sorry, you can link them to different points. Now, if we go here and we crouch and I interact with it, it changes the emblem. Now, the color and the emblem all need to match. So if I make this one green with an L emblem, it doesn't link to any of them, right? But if I go over here now and I place down this block on this side in front of the armor and tents, and then we look for the L again, there it is, and we make this one green, this should now be linked to that one over there and not to the other two. So we're going to pop that on there, and we're over here, and we can see that one's there and that one's there. So that's good, nice little maneuvers. But what happens if I put a third one in that's green and uses that? Two waystones of this type already exist. You can't have more than two of the same color and emblem combination. So it won't skip from A to B to C. It's literally A to B only. So what happens then if we place down this? It's going to keep the square emblem, but we put a red dye on it. It doesn't link. It doesn't get an error. It's now waiting for the second one, which we're going to put over here with the blocks and the ropes and stuff. Again, check out the other videos that I posted at the same time as this, and you'll see pretty much everything. We're going to go red. This is now linked to that other red one. I'm going to put this here, and we're going to put that there, and we've moved. So you have customization. There's what, 16 different colors in Minecraft? There's how many different emblems? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 8. 8 times 16, or however you do those kind of numbers, but there are that many different combinations, which is so cool. Now, one other thing I want to try, because I did a Waystone add-on once, and it said it only worked within render distance or simulation distance. We're going to make it that. I'm going to make it green. I'm then going to travel out. You know what? Let's teleport. Let's do a teleport command, shall we? So we're going to go TP. We're going to teleport to 10,000, 100, 10,000. Place that down. Now, if this works, I would be very, very shocked. We are in an ice spikes biome. We're going to place this down here. I'm going to place that there. That already exists. So we're going to change the emblem. Forgot to do that there. There we go. And now it's linked. So it knows it's linked even this many blocks away. So from 9974 10012 to 84205. The distance is immense. If you enjoyed today's video, please do remember to hit the like button. It does help the channel out so much. And get down in the comments. Let me know. Are you excited for RealismCraft 2.0? Did you use RealismCraft 1.0 at all? And what are you hoping to see in this version or in future versions? And if you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button as well. I'd greatly appreciate it. Let's go. So we're going to be taking a look at pretty much everything that's new in the overworld in terms of how the world's spawning, the structures that spawn, how it looks, and we're going to look at the new Sentinel boss in this dynamic world. So to begin with then, one of the big features that they've added is custom biome sky colors. So as you can see here in this biome, whichever biome, this is the Badlands biome, I guess, we've got a kind of pinky purple background. If we go back this way, I'll show you again. So as we're in a river, it goes blue. But as we go into the Badlands biome, it does change to be a more kind of heated, hot style with that pinky purple. And then if we pop through over here to this, I think it's like a jungle biome here, in fact, we can see we get a different color. It's a brighter blue out here. So we've got that background biome just trying to build up the atmosphere of what we're doing. Let's go across here and see, do we get anything else on this side as well? Maybe we will, maybe we won't. It's quite bright blue right now. Obviously, there are VFX settings that you can adjust as well if it's not to your liking. We're going to go on to here, which is like a beach. How are we looking here on the beach? So it stays bright blue. I kind of expected more color as we were going around. I always like these kind of elements, so these are quite nice. But in terms of the biome colors and the backgrounds, I did expect it to change a little bit more. I wanted to see more greens. I wanted to see more effects in general. And then one thing as well that kind of happens, I don't know if we're going to see it because I might have spawned all of this in. Yeah, this. We get a lot of the world popping in as we're flying around. Now, I am using an early access copy. I think I've mentioned it a few times in various areas, but you can see this is a jungle biome because there's a jungle temple over there. And yet the biome pops in because of how it's being written by RealismCraft. Now, this could be early access. This could be the fact it's in a realm. This could be the fact that I'm using it on a PS5 when this copy is for PC. So that could all be having effects. I'm in creative, so I am holding back judgment on that. But I will say it is a little bit jarring in how it pops in. I've seen it in add-ons that do structure generations. And so it is quite like standard for what we're dealing with at the moment. But if you're all running through like this, you wouldn't notice it. Obviously I spot it because I'm in creative and I'm flying over, and that seems to be a problem of me a lot, not necessarily the content that I'm looking at. But you do notice it like as it pops in. It's not quite with the render distance. It's kind of on top of, and so it is kind of apparent, and it does become a little bit jarring. It does become a little bit immersion breaking. But like I say, I'm reserving judgment on that for now. Just want to make sure you guys know that I have seen it and I'm not ignoring it because I've been given early access. That's not the case here. Also, I don't think I've said it in most of my other videos, but this isn't a sponsored video. I've just been given early access and they haven't asked me to say anything. They haven't asked me to do anything. They haven't paid me or anything like that. This is all, as usual, 100% my own opinion as we're flying through, but not noticing a ton when it comes to the biome colors. We seem to be stuck in a jungle right now, which is a little bit crazy. There's a massive jungle here. So what we're going to do, we're going to spawn to 10,000, 10,000 and have a fly around and just see. So we're in an ice spikes biome. I came here for the transport video. So if you haven't seen that, you'll find out when you see that what that waystone is. And okay, so we get that more kind of icy white biome color here. It's a very softer blue. I don't know, I kind of expected it to be a bit more prominent with the sky colors, but I mean, it is what it is right there. And then on top of that, oh, we could go into a spruce snowy forest here, see what's happening. And then, yeah, look, so you see how it's generating in, just as I was saying before. But when you're down on here, you're not noticing it as much. So it definitely becomes a lot easier to stomach, which is cool. So that's all right, I guess. If we go into spectator mode, which is going to make rendering even more, there are 3 new cave biomes that are added. So there's an arid cave, there's a frozen cave, and there's a dripstone cave. And so I want to see what these look like. And I don't know if I'm going to get these right, but I think I might, because this looks very much like a dripstone cave. Now, what I want to do, not a dripstone cave, sorry, a frozen cave. So if I go and get night vision, obviously there is a miner's helmet, but we can just use this. It's easier. We'll light this up. So we've got a frozen cave. It's giving us a lot of frozen ice spikes and ice crystals, which is cool. I will admit, when I saw the ice crystals in the creative menu, I did think they were going to be more end related than cave related. But you'll see in the end overhaul video that I did how that looks. So yeah, just adjusting how the caves look, how they spawn, how they fit in with the overworld above them, I guess. If we go up to spectator again, we are in the cold biome still, are we? Yeah, there is snow on the overworld. And we see, yeah, look, we got the caves spawning here. They are broken again. Not broken, sorry, they're like shattered. They are spreading out. Look at that. Look at that cave network. Wow. Okay. I like that. I think that's awesome. Look how vast that is as well. That's mad. Alright, this I like, for real. I really do like this. I really like how effective that looks from afar there as well. That's really strong. Okay, so that's the frozen cave, and that's an example, just in case we don't see an arid cave or a dripstone cave. That is an example of what element changes they're doing to caving here. We can go around a bit more. Look, even the mine shaft. The mine shaft has got cold elements to it as well, so it mixes in with vanilla structures. These biomes are huge, by the way. Look at how huge this cold biome is right now. Underground in spectator mode. Okay, I'm going to fly around. I'm going to try and find a dripstone or an arid cave, but I don't even know what arid means. But yeah, okay. We've got here as well, more stuff spawning in. Bones. There's tons of stuff here. Alright, let me go and try and find an arid cave, and we'll see what we can get. I'm not there because I'm in spectator mode. I forgot about that. Where's an arid cave? So I've been able to find an arid cave then, and basically an arid cave is something that spawns underneath the desert biomes, and it actually introduces the new sand block, which is the dark sand and the dark sandstone, as well as elements with these bone blocks here as well. And it just gives off the fact that we are in a hot biome and that sand pretty much gets everywhere. Look at this. As we're spawning it in, it does let other standard cave generation happen as well, so there will be a bit of a mix, but again, look at how effective that is. With that desert background color, that orangey, yellowy, warmth color that we've got, we can see the sand mixing around. There's a diamond over there as well, keep an eye on that. And then yeah, you've got the spawners in here with some bone blocks mixing around. So yeah, we've got cave biomes. Now, obviously, they're not VFX heavy. They're not crazy lag generating. But we do have cave biomes. And I think this is a brilliant expansion of the overworld. Like, look at that. That desert wasteland mixed in with that cave generation that we've got in Minecraft. Just adding that newer stuff into the world. And it keeps that warmth color as well. Obviously, we have got night vision potion on, so that's going to be doing some bits here to make it look very, very bright. But it is here, and this is cool. Again, another very strong, very good effect of a cave. And the reason why it's good to me isn't just because it's changing some stuff, but because it adds variation. Caving can be so boring. Going spelunking can be so boring because you just see the same things over and over and over again. But here, we're seeing actual biomes to it. And there's a reason to come here because you can get the dark sand, you can get the dark sandstone. That's what I want. So I'm going to go and try and find, I'm still not here. There you go. You can see my beard. I'm going to go and try and find a dripstone cave now. So bear with me. So for the dripstone caves, I've been unable to work out whether or not they're in addition to or an upgrade to the standard vanilla dripstone caves. But what I have seen is that when you know you've got there is because there are limestone deposits all over the place, right? So there will be limestone blocks all over the place. There will be an aquifer, which I think is like, or an aquifer system, which is like basically this, where there's water around. And you will see limestone around as well, which is, if you haven't seen the blocks video yet, is this video here. So we can get limestone. So again, another reason to come here is for this stuff, and we've got tons of dripstone blocks. Like I say, I don't quite know if it's in addition to or an upgrade to the standard dripstone biomes or dripstone caves that you get, but you can definitely see sprinkled in, we've got the limestone around, we've got a lot of water around here as well. I don't think this one is as effective as the frozen or the arid. My favorite by far is the frozen, and then arid is quite a distant second from frozen, but also quite a distant second ahead of the dripstone as well. I'm glad that we saw the frozen one first. We've got green water here as well from the biomes. You can see where it's changed blue to green as well. So yeah, that's going to be the biomes. That's going to be how the world kind of generates and spawns in. Let's go and find ourselves the Sentinel arena and let's see what the new mini boss looks like. So I'm standing outside of a Sentinel arena now, and we're going to see it here. We've got the Sentinel sitting on top looking massive. And one thing that we need to say first of all, this is an overworld boss, right? It's not on the level of the Ender Dragon. It's definitely not supposed to be on the level of the Wither as far as I know. It's kind of, in my opinion, and I've not been told this by anyone, but it's kind of the feeling I get. It's like a step above the Guardian, in my opinion. And so with that, you kind of have to take into consideration the loot that you would expect to get here. So what we should do, go into spectator real quick. Now, potential arachnophobia warning for this section, because there are spawners in here and they are for cave spiders. So just bear that in mind. If they do spawn, there will be cave spiders here for a little bit of time. And if we go and check out the loot, so we've got ender pearls, iron ingot, sticky pistons, gold, an amplified potion of leaping, and a diamond pickaxe, which is quite a beefy one there, to be fair, with it. So that's not bad. If we go down again, there should be another one down here as well. And we're going to go into creative and hit this. And we've got golden apples, lapis lazuli, pistons, and some more diamond and diamond boots as well. So like I say, it's not exactly OP. It's not exactly game breaking. We're not talking end game level loot, but we are talking some good loot, I think, for at least coming here once or twice. And then, so if we go into survival now, we're going to see if we can trigger this boss fight. So he's set up there, all ominous and scary. We're in survival and it immediately starts to rain as we get near. Now, what's it going to do? Now, apparently there's supposed to be like a wake up animation. Is that on this sound? He's all coppery. Okay. I've been given mining fatigue 6, which doesn't even let you fight. There's like a lightning strikes to him. Quite a few lightning strikes to him here. But okay. I mean, he looks very ominous. He looks very scary up here. I'm going to have a bit of a toy around. I'm going to see if I can get this to work. I think me being in creative and spectator, I've probably bugged it. So let's see if I can get one that works. Unfortunately, I'm only just going to be able to show you the Sentinel here and how he sits on the Sentinel arena. So when you get close, the boss bar appears, and I can show you when you go into survival that a storm will rage. Now, this is supposed to cue a startup animation, and he would wake up, you'd have the sound, and then you'd go into the first of a multiple phase battle. Now, in the first phase, I'm going to go back into creative real quick. In the first phase, the Sentinel will push the player with its hand and can destroy blocks that are in the way of the attack. You are also given mining fatigue 6, which basically lasts forever, and that's to make sure that you go through with the fight and that you don't just try and cheese the loot inside. You do have to fight the guy, so just bear that in mind as well. When you've done enough damage to the Sentinel's head, I believe is supposed to be the weak point, you go into the second phase. The second phase is now a circular area of effect attack. During the attack, its weak point is hidden, preventing the player from dealing any damage. So it's got some good animations to it when you can get it to work. I'm a little bit frustrated that I can't get it to work, but I think that's my own fault playing in survival. Playing in creative even, sorry. It also has a continuous laser beam attack which can set fire to both the ground and the player. One Sentinel will spawn on top of a Sentinel arena, and the Sentinel arena will spawn in a jungle biome. So just bear that in mind and have fun trying to fight this guy. When I get the full version, I will definitely try and take him on, I'm sure. Now, one of the new structures that I added to RealismCraft 2.0 is hopefully one of this that I've just found here. Now, I believe this is the Trident Temple, and it comes in 3 different variations. And here is a guaranteed way to get a trident. Now, this building will be defended by guardians and will have 1 guaranteed trident in it, along with some other loot. And it won't always look like this if this is actually what I think it is, but I've been looking for an hour now and this is the closest I could see for what it is. So when you go inside, there'll be a chest here with a block on top that you'll break, and inside you'll have some loot and a trident. Now, this trident has impaling too, so there is a chance to get an enchanted trident. And then if you go downstairs, we'll have more loot in here with some more ocean themed loot for us, which is all good. And then if we go up here and we go around here, there is a way somewhere, if I can work out how to do this. That was scary how he just came through there. Okay, that just gave me a little heart attack. But on this side, we've got a spawner with some guardians. And then also on this side, we've got a spawner with some guardians. And to get down to the bottom, you'd want to go through here, down here, hop past the guardian, thank you very much, and swim underneath, which it doesn't seem to want to let me do because of my creative status, so that's cool. Get through here, there we go. Now, there we go. And then swim around and explore underwater where there will be sponges and there will be the loot that I spoke about as well. In the desert, there are also 2 new structures in the shapes of a tomb and in the shapes of an excavation site. Now, with the tomb, there are supposed to be 4 versions of it, and 2 of them have a surface entrance and 2 of them are completely hidden. I was unable to find any of them, and there is also the excavation site which I was unable to find, which just means that they are quite rare. What I did find though was a vanilla structure that had actually been updated with newer blocks. So the desert temple can spawn in both the usual vanilla version and in a version that has updated with new blocks that have been added for RealismCraft. Not sure if this was a RealismCraft 1.0 or 2.0 update, but I thought I'd mention it here, as well as mentioning that there are tombs and excavation sites that I was unable to find. Another one of the new structures that have been added in for RealismCraft 2.0 is the farmhouse here as well, which is cool. And apparently this is going to be surrounded by blocks of salt. We're going to have bits of farmland here for us to just look at. We've got crates, we've got mobs around here. So make sure you check out that mobs, armors, weapons, items video or section if you're watching the mega long video to see all of those in close quarters. But it's a nice little house. It's quite quaint. One thing they've done as well is that they've really reduced down the number of structures that spawn in a short period of time or in a short space. So it's a lot easier, a lot more difficult to find structures, and a lot easier to get immersed into the world and actually feel like you're in a world that's lived in but not overwhelmed, to be honest with you. And I am struggling to find a few of these other structures, so we are looking for a lumberjack cabin and an engineer hut. There's also a druid tree which I'm struggling to find, but I have to be honest with you, 3 hours looking for structures is not my way of spending a Friday night. So I'm going to try and look again, and we'll probably find one more structure, and then that'll be it for this video. But so far, I've liked the structures that we've seen. I've just been a little bit disappointed with some of the bugs that have been appearing, knowing full well, like I say, early access and some of my own limitations that could be causing this. But let's try and find either an engineer hut or a lumberjack cabin. All right, guys, unfortunately, I'm going to have to call it there. 3.5 hours looking for structures that I can't find. They have definitely turned down the spawn rates for structures. And I do agree with that from a gameplay experience, but as a YouTube content creator that's trying to show some stuff off to you while also balancing a whole lot of jobs, this is not an easy thing to do. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to show you the tombs. I haven't been able to show you the excavation areas. I haven't been able to show you the engineer hut, the lumberjack cabin, or the druid tree. So there are a few other structures that you will experience for yourself or you'll see in other people's videos, I'm sure. So how do I feel about this overall dynamic world? Well, this is the last video that I'm recording, so that's why it's pushing closer and closer. That's why I'm going to have to call it there. So I've experienced all of it. There are a few bugs, there are a few rough patches that, again, I've said it multiple times, early access, PS5, Realm, that, you know, it's supposed to be on PC. So a lot of these things could be me. A lot of these things could be the early access copy. I'm playing in creative. I'm playing in spectator mode. I'm flying around. So a few of these bugs need to be taken with a pinch of salt. I have fed everything back to the developers that I could. So hopefully anything that is a legitimate bug will be fixed. I still really do like the RealismCraft overall experience. I think it's something that is just not available anywhere else. It's massive, it's awesome, it's huge, it's brilliant. So if you haven't gone and seen the blocks, the mobs, the armors, the items, go and check out that video. If you haven't seen the end overhaul, go and check out that video. If you haven't seen the travel options that they've added into this, go and check out that video as well. I still think this is great. I do think that there is elements that can be improved. That cow's coming to get me now, which isn't awesome. So stay away, Mr. Cow. I do think there are things that need to be improved. I do think that there are some things that are just a little bit still too rough, or they could be updated to be awesome. But I mean, at some point they're going to update this to the point where it's not going to be able to be played on certain devices. So I understand there are limitations there as well. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. And I am reserving a lot of judgments for that final release that comes out on Tuesday, the 26th of August. So that will be telling to see what kind of content that we get as the final package. So we're not going to waste a lot of time. There is a ton of content going live on the channel right now with tons of RealismCraft 2.0 update information. So in this video, let's just quickly do the set block command and let's go into the end and see what the end overhaul has done, shall we? Let's go up here and let's see what we've got going on. Now, obviously, RealismCraft would have had all of this content before the update at 2.0, but the end was very much something that needed an update, both here in RealismCraft and in the vanilla Minecraft game as well. So we've got structures spawning here straight away on the first island. We've got the awesome Ender Dragon over there. If you want to see the Ender Drake, by the way, well, we spawned one in on the mobs. In fact, you know what? No. Let's do it. I know I showed it on the big mobs video. Let's show it here as well. It's end related. So the Drake is a companion that you can ride, similar to a horse, but it's a dragon. Let's spawn one in right here. Very nice. A nice childlike Ender Dragon for you to use as your companion, and you can interact with him. You can put a saddle on him, and I'm not actually sure, does that become an inventory? Let's find out. SADD, thank you. We're going to put that on there, and then if I... No, excuse me, get off. Thank you. We're going to... Can make him sit. How do I put your inventory? How do I look at your inventory? Is there a way? I don't do horses. I don't know. I don't know if we can see anything. How do I check? How do I take that saddle off? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. My inability with horses has really just messed it all up here. But we get to fly the dragon, which is super nice as well. And if we jump off, let's go back to looking at the structures. So we've got obviously End Velvet in here, which is a biome that is added into the end. We didn't look at any end blocks really in the block section because I wanted to do them here. We've also got End Slate. We get Void Mold around here as well, beginning us on this island. But this isn't what we're really here for. We want to see the actual end biomes in the main area of the end, not this island. So we're going to teleport. We're going to teleport a fair distance. We're going to teleport 10,000 blocks in 2 different directions and see what we get. We're immediately in the standard end, basically the end wastes, for lack of a better term. But here we go. We've got some velvet biomes spawning in here. We've got End Velvet. We've got tall velvet weeds. We've got animated foliage. We've got short velvet weed here as well. We've got a void petal and a void stalk. Okay. Here we go. Let's see what else we got around here. We've got some trees. We've got, what's this? Glare petal. Kind of alien flowers. All trying to keep that Minecraft feel to it, it feels like. What we got here? What are you? Enderfight. Okay. I'm going to place this down. And it seems to be lighting up the area a little bit. Alright. It seems to have a few different variations that it spawns into. Nice. Not much in terms of how it's spawned in though. Let's see if anything else generates as we go through. Now, obviously, I'm using an early access copy. Thank you again to Spark Universe. I'm also playing on a Realm so that I could get this off of my PC and onto my PS5. So things may be generating in a little bit weird as a combination of all three. So just bear that in mind. We get a little bit more. I like this glow though. This glow is cool. Also, this is not compatible with vibrant visuals currently, but it is being worked on to be compatible with vibrant visuals in the near future, or just the future in general. So hopefully we'll get some really nice effects on these lights that we get going. Some more floating things here, but at the moment we're getting very shattered dimensions. They're not exactly lighting my world on fire right now. I want to see vast biomes, you know? I want to see actual massive areas of this stuff. So let's just fly through and see what else we can find. We're still getting vanilla structures spawning in, which is very good. But what else? Okay, so we're getting some biomes just popping in as we're going. Now, I don't know if this is how this is going to be in a survival world, if it's going to just burst in, or if it's a combination of what I was saying beforehand with the early access Realm PS5. Maybe it's because I'm in creative as I'm flying through as well. I don't know. These biomes, though, they're looking kind of small. I want big. I want bigger biomes. I don't want on the edge. I want massive, massive biomes. I like these little tiny bits that we're getting. I like the lighting effects that we're getting. I like the design of the blocks. They feel very alien with the veins and the velvets. Looking awesome. But I want more. I want more. What's this? Okay. We've got what I think is called an end meteorite here. Now, this is where you will get the viridium ore as we like fly around it. We've also got some other stuff. We've got end rock on here. We've got end slate as well. So some new blocks added in here. And then again, smaller biomes, but they're generating in here. Maybe it's because we've got smaller end islands as well, making it a bit different. I'm going to just hold still so you guys can see the animation as well. I got told recently that I move too much during animated videos, and so it's tough to see. So taking that feedback on board, you can see the animation of the foliage here. Obviously, it's a little bit weird that the leaves aren't actually leaves blocks, so we're not getting any animation there. Would have been cool to get some animated faces on these textures, but not faces as in face, but like texture as in like side of the block. Animated would have been cool. What's this? Vein stalk here as well. So some more. I like these lighting effects though. It feels like they've definitely been putting in a few elements to be ready for vibrant visuals. I'm not getting any lag from this either, which is good. Obviously, we know how VFX can affect worlds. Let's just keep flying around. There are obviously as well two other types of structures that we would get. There should be, I'm trying to remember what they were. There's a hanging tower and a dragon shrine at some point that we should see as well. So here we go. We're getting a bit of a bigger biome here. I want vast, man. I don't want to see any of this vanilla-y stuff. Get rid of this. This stuff right here. See you later. Adios. Goodbye. Give me this awesome, awesome velvet. I wonder if they'll add more biomes as well. We've seen what's possible in things like Better on Bedrock. Not Better on Bedrock. In things like, what am I thinking of here? Eternal End. And the other one that came out. The name is escaping me now. But we've seen what's possible in the end. And so hopefully we get a lot more biomes. And some very good end content here. I like the trees. I think the trees are really awesome. I think they're looking very, very nice. Let's just keep carrying on around here. I don't know if it's because the islands break though. They seem to shatter the biomes a lot. I'm not a big fan of the way these are generating in either, but I am kind of reserving judgment on that until the final product. That's just me being honest. I'm not ignoring it or anything like that. What's that? Okay, so we've got a boat over here as well. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of things popping in. I know it happens. I've seen it in other add-ons. I know there's certain limitations to the software and the way things spawn in. So it kind of is what it is. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not ignoring the elephant in the room here. So we keep flying through. Well, the biomes do spawn in quite often, which is good. Let's get down here. You know what? Let's have a little run through and see how this goes at base level, because obviously this is how you play. This is how you play in the end. If you don't have elytra, if you don't have the Viridium armor, this is how you would play. What is this? Glare petals. Okay, cool. I think I looked at that. But yeah, the light, the color, the visual effects, very nice. It's very nice. Some of these god rays right here, a little bit harsh, but like I said, I think they're planning for that vibrant visuals. Wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. But okay, so yeah, with the one biome, it does make it feel like there isn't a ton of different stuff going on. What's that over there? Are these more trees? Did I fly past these already? I think I did. Yeah, it kind of has that kind of samey feel. And because they keep breaking and then restarting, it also kind of adds that like, all right, well, I've seen it type feel. I like how they look though. And I would like to see more biomes. I would like to see more of how they're generated. So like I said as well, there are two other structures that you would get. There's a dragon shrine, and then there is a hanging tower. So I'm going to fly around and try to find those, and then we'll be back to those. I did just want to say though, this meteorite popped in, and I really like the way these islands float around it. I think that's really nice. This is a much stronger meteorite than the other one that we saw. I think that's really, really nice. The purple is really doing bits here around that meteorite, giving it that kind of ethereal feel. I think ethereal is the word I want. Makes it look a bit magical, is how I'm saying. Alright, so I managed to find a dragon shrine, and now these have been designed in a way that they're supposed to teach you how you would spawn in the Ender Drake. Now, I don't know how much that's going to do to actually teach you really, so we're going to see what this looks like, but it's built in a way that it fits in with the rest of the end cities, which is nice. I can respect that. We've got polished end stone here, we've got some purple pillars as well, just popping in and out. We've got end rods, and then if we walk into here, what are we dealing with? So we've got a polished end stone, we've got 4 obsidian pieces, and then a central piece here for the chiseled egg end stone. So the custom block that we were introduced in the mob video, or if you're watching the longer version, the mob section of this video. And so what the idea is that you would have the, I believe, the Ender Dragon here. Let's have a look. So we're going to go Ender Dragon. So over here, this would be, we want end crystals, and I want dragon egg is what I want, not Ender Dragon. So let's go dragon egg, dragon head, spawn Ender Dragon, dragon egg, dragon's breath. Yeah, this one here. Thank you very much. I'm going to get rid of that. So in theory, to spawn in the Drake, you would put that here. You would then put end crystals on 1, which is apparently invisible for some reason. Okay. 2. Is it placing it down? Can't tell. No, it's not. Alright, there we go. Okay, so something seems to have been weird there. So, obsidian. Not sure what's going on there. But it seems to be okay now. So, we're going to place this here. This definitely seems to have placed something invisible, but it's there. I mean, early access, guys. Like I said, this is an early access copy. Could be bugs from that. We're going to break that, place that down. So you have the 4 end crystals, which then power up the Ender egg or the dragon egg, and then the Drake spawns in. And that's how it teaches you how to spawn in the Drake, because it's got the layout already set for you. So apologies for that. Like I said, early access, probably paying a few issues there. Let's go and try and find some of these hanging towers now. And so here we go then. Now, I did expect this to be a little bit more prominent, but it seems to be buried inside the island here. I don't know if that's by design or just, you know, a freak nature of the spawn, but this is a hanging tower, which I'm always a fan of hanging towers. And these are designed in a way that if you've got elytra, what you would do is you'd be flying in, you'd land on these elytra platforms here to get started, and then you just kind of explore, and you've got a drop to your death down here, so it's very dangerous to go around. Keep looking around here, come through here. Now I've got mob spawning turned off, so I'm sure there would be some forms of mobs. The Drake is on me now as well, so you know I've spawned him in. And as we just go through, we can see what's going on in here. Hopefully the Drake will stay safe. We're just going to look around. So this seems to be the top side We're going to drop down here and just check out what we got in here. So this is a bit empty, a little bit more of nothing there, and then drop down here. So there's not much here in this tower. I expected a bit more than that, in fairness. Any other bits that we can see? So there's a bit down here. How would you get to this? There is a chest. Okay, so you do have to fly. It's not just going to be exploring it. You do have to fly around. My chests are empty. This could again be as part of the spawning or as part of the early access. I'm not sure. I'll feed that back to the devs. But that's the end at the moment. I mean, this is how they've updated the end. I got to be honest with you, in certain areas it is a little bit rough. I would be a little bit harsher if I wasn't using an... Oh, my Drake died. Okay, sorry, dude. If I wasn't using an early access version, I would be a little bit harsher. Not because they've given me the early access version, but because I know the early access version isn't the final version. And so there could be changes, this could be slightly outdated, and there could be fixes that I haven't seen yet. But I like the way the purple biome looks. I do wish there was more than one. I like the idea of the hanging towers. I just think we didn't get a great one there. And I like the idea of both the Drake and the Dragon Spire, or what was it called? The Dragon Shrine, sorry, to see how to spawn it in as well. So I think there's some definite nice things here. I think there is also some places that could probably do with a little bit of extra work as well. Just going to be honest. So also as part of the end overhaul, a brand new material or ore has been added to the game as well. And that is this right here. It's Viridium. But if it was just as simple as Viridium, you wouldn't need me now, would you? So there's actually another piece to it, and it's called Viridium Shard. So to get Viridium Shard, you need to find either End Rock Viridium ore or end slate Viridium ore here in the end. And the meteorites that are in the air floating around, they're going to be very important to this. When you mine these, you get the Viridium Shards. So if you're thinking, right, do I just put a few Viridium Shards together and get Viridium? No, unfortunately not. It's still not that easy. But if you combine 9 Viridium Shards together, you'll compact them into what is called a block of Viridium Shards. An easy way to store the Viridium Shards, similar to gold, netherite, diamond in the base game, but also this can be used as a decorative block. If you want to make Viridium though, you do need Viridium Shards, but you also need a new mob drop, which is called the Blight Ring. Now the Blight Ring comes from the new mob, the Blight. If you want to see the Blight and find out more about the Blight, go and check out the mobs, items, armor and weapons, and blocks video that would have gone out live with this video. Or if you're watching the Supercut currently, it's back in that section and you can go and see that if you haven't already. So when you combine the Blight Ring, one Blight Ring with one Viridium Shard, you get Viridium. And Viridium sits somewhere between diamond and netherite in the hierarchy of power. It's right there in the middle, and it gives certain items a special ability, but we'll get to that shortly. Now, if you combine 9 Viridium, you can get the block of Viridium, which is similar to the block of Viridium Shards in that it compresses them together and is an easy way to store Viridium in mass, and is also used as a decorative block. But once you have Viridium, you have now opened yourself up to being able to craft armors, weapons, and a few blocks, all of which have been looked at in detail in either the new blocks video or the new transport video that would have gone live at the same time as this. So we're just going to glance over them here. Starting with the armors, you have got a helmet, chestplate, leggings, and footwear, which combine to make this beastie little thing. Here's the front of it, and these have special abilities which you'll see in the other video or the other section. The crafting menu, or the crafting recipes, sorry, for each of these are as you would expect. So the helmet, the chest plate, the leggings, and the boots are what you would expect for these armor pieces. And then down here we also have weapons. Now we have the standard Minecraft weapons, the 5 of the sword right here. We've got the pickaxe right here, the axe here as well. We've got a shovel on here, and we've got the hoe to make it part of the hierarchy of weapons with the same crafting recipes that you would expect, where it just uses Viridium and sticks here. But they also introduce 3 new weapons. We've got a scythe, we've got a hammer, a mining hammer to be specific, and we've got daggers. Do go and check out the new weapon section of the new blocks video to go and see what each of these do, because some of these have special abilities, like the scythe has lifesteal as well as a special function. The mining hammer has a special function, and the daggers have special abilities as well that we look at in that video. And then also the 3 new blocks that you get to use here as well. And again, we looked at them in the new blocks video, but we've got Viridium crates, which have a special storage function that you can use, and these are crafted quite easily with just 8 Viridium shards. We then also have the scrapper, which is a way of recycling unwanted blocks to get XP, and this can be crafted using 2 diamonds, a snare plant, 3 blocks of Viridium, and you can use 2 void stalks, or you can use 2 vein stalks, or you can use 2 glare stalks, and this is a really good way to throw away unwanted blocks and get XP for it. And then lastly, we have the waystone block, which we look at in the new transport video, and we test this block to see how to use it and how it works in a world. And to craft this, you need 5 Viridium, you need 1 Eye of Ender, and again you need either 2 void stalks, 2 vein stalks, or 2 glare stalks to create. So they've really done well to implement the new item, the new material, and really breathe it into the weapons and blocks and armors of the world. Thank you for checking out the whole SUPERCUT video. I really appreciate it if you've watched this whole thing. Please do leave a like on the video. I hope you managed to get some information, some hype, and just some understanding of how big of an update this is. Please do drop a comment. What was your favorite part of the entire video? What do you hope to see in RealismCraft 2.0 and beyond? And if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace!